but there's more.
Like the
in
guy
there.
who gave a name to a spider, like his pet giant spider. Insane.
Hello, everyone.
Know that
and
every
welcome to
tank-
the
Hi.
Wandering Inn.
Hi.
Well, welcome to Spider Hour with us.
Not with me.
Sheepy's like,
Shockingly.
Look at
Sheepy's like,
Katie. She
it's,
even has a spider in the background.
Sheepy's like, it's 10 seconds still
Wait.
live, and everybody's
that on
like talking
purpose.
about shit.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
I was like, yeah, 10 seconds.
Oh, actually, I just realized, Katie, you moved stuff around behind you.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
I did.
that is a good
Yeah.
point. Okay.
You can
so-
see your 666 Weed Pride flag better now.
So,
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
hello, everyone. You know what? I actually don't need this music on for right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wandering Inn. It's nice to have you here. This is the QT. We are on episode number 16, I believe.
Whew.
Yes,
16.
16, yeah.
And
Yeah.
this episode is called Twist.
Twist.
So we're going to the
wonder
school
what
dance.
twist, Sheepy?
We're going to a school
Let's
dance.
do the twist.
There you
God.
go.
Come on, baby.
So, before we do anything else, there is something I have to unfortunately get out of the way.
Unfortunately,
I don't think it's unfortunate.
yeah.
It's delightful.
Is it that everyone should check out the Patreon?
No. Although it is something to do
Website?
with that. Okay, so if everyone would just hold for a second, this is something that has to be done.
What would you like me to hold?
Your mouth.
Shit.
There's a monster
Ow.
in there.
Ow.
Oh, I know what's happening.
Very loud.
Everyone, hold for a sec. Don't make me mute the Zoom for a while, okay? Okay, so. Hi, my name is Sheepdog. I'm a content creator on the internet, and I enjoy long romantic walks in the woods, park benches, and smiling at people. Are you in need of a man in your life? I'm in need of men, many men, but even one man would help. I have positions that I need to fill, and you might just be the man I need. Are you available, willing to get down and dirty in a rough and tumble environment, and put all of yourself in? Then you may be just what I'm looking for. So, take a chance and get in contact. I'll be here, waiting for you. Please.
So was that like actually for a show, or was that just dating?
Are we
That was-
dating now? Are we going out?
So if I'm correct, that was an ad read from a Patreon
Yeah.
like top tier.
Yeah.
Made Sheepy do that.
I see.
So that was for Patreon. Thank you very much, Anonymous. Yes, they did request to stay anonymous. If you're a patron on some of the higher tiers, you can get me to do an ad read as part of one of the perks of being a patron.
There you go.
That was fabulous.
That's the kind of delightful content you can create by spending money on Patreon.
So
I
You
love
can make
how-
Sheepy say things that embarrass him.
so
I love how people and that Sheepy needed to tell us to shut up because he knew.
Yeah.
So that was a joke, a play on the fact that the majority of my shows are me feeling outnumbered by women, and I have on multiple occasions said I need men. So no, that is the ad read for the Wandering Inn, trying to recruit
do need
more
men.
men. I do need men. I have holes I need to fill.
Yeah, I probably know some men that'll fill your holes.
You just did that entirely on your own.
I mean, it was in the fucking ad read.
It was
like
in
what-
the ad read, yeah.
What could I do? So, with all of that done, like I even had to go and find that music. I did research. I went and watched some 80s, like, you know, dating videos. You know, they used to do those videos of like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
That's what it felt like. It felt like I was watching. I had insomnia in high school, and late night TV was on.
So, do you want to make me do shit like that? Go join the Patreon.
Yeah.
Now I want to make a follow-up one from that.
Thank
Like
you
one,
for all the
like-
people who reached out to fill my holes.
Yes.
I now have too many men. Would anyone like some men?
I have men who can fill holes.
Okay. So...
No, Katie. If they were your holes, Katie, they would be potholes. Get it? Get it?
Heyo!
Oh, yeah. Took me a moment. So, yes, back to our regularly scheduled program. I know, I'm a sellout, I'm a shill, I'm doing ad reads and sponsorships for the man.
There's literally no one who said that. Get that money. Do that.
Yeah, get
shit.
that fuck out of
Oh,
your
yeah.
head, man.
Yeah, don't even say those words. That
No.
shit is negative garbage that you do not require.
Oh, I agree.
Amen.
I just need
Hallelujah.
to dismiss them from the like scape of this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, if like in regards to an actual serious person being like, oh, I can't believe this YouTuber or Twitch streamer is selling out and shilling or whatever.
Those people are
It's like,
stupid.
well, I mean, yeah, they are stupid, but it's also just like, hey, would you prefer they put their content behind a paywall?
Yeah.
You're
That's
watching
literally
it.
it.
You're watching it for free. Back down.
I don't mind hearing about Raid Shadow Legends if I get to watch the video for free. You know?
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck.
If it makes my streamer more successful, fuck
Yeah.
it.
I'm just waiting for someone to make me do a spoof Raid Shadow Legends read.
Ooh.
It is tempting.
Oh my god, that would
welcome
be
to
so
paid
great.
Shadow Legends.
I was gonna have you sing the men.
You're
Men.
not a patron. You can't make me do anything.
Oh, but you pay me, so
Shadow
I can just
Legends.
send the money back.
Yeah. You can just
True.
say, here, Sheepy, take this back and do this for me.
Just basically just paying sheepy money to do things.
I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie. I did have a conversation with someone where they were like, we were talking about the pay, and they were like, "Can I just put it back into your Patreon?" And I'm like, "If you want."
I guess.
So yeah.
It's actually not a bad idea. I mean, what? No.
Sorry, that has knocked me off my thought process. So yes.
I believe, game-wise, we were in a situation with a god or some such thing. I don't know if that's where we're at yet, but I'm,
Who's gonna die?
Well, before we do that, we do have one more thing I need to touch on.
Another thing.
Yes.
Sheepy, we just want to play.
I know.
Is there a time length limit on the ad reads?
Depends how much they pledged on
Asking for a
Patreon, I think.
friend.
a friend, yeah.
I would say like don't make it more than like a couple of minutes at most. Try and make it like 30 seconds to a minute or something. Okay, let's have a look here.
Just a 1 minute 55 silence, and then at the end, this break was sponsored by Kit Kat.
Put some kid in your cat. Okay, there we go. So, this is going to be, apologies for the slight dirtiness of it. Dirtiness as in it's unclean. I'm sorry, untidy. There we go. Let's just pause this for a second here.
Unclean. All right. What you got?
Calm
Yeah.
down. It's just a picture.
Give me that dirty shit.
This is the first official reveal and teaser for the Duacrama Outlook that you can now see on your screens. This is going to be the recorded show that will be coming out in the summer. As you can see, it has an egg.
Looks dope.
Oh.
Looks so sick.
Oh.
And some fancy fucking cast.
And then you can also see the cast. It's a Wandering Inn production with Sheepdog, Gaming FTL, Valen Vane, Elbel, KDB Does Play, Safi Pie, PG Pixel 8, Ezekiel 3, Domestic Dan, Bentham, and Zacodicus.
Scoticus!
So there is the announcement and the little teaser that will be coming soon. The reason I'm putting it out there now is kind of more officially. Some of you, especially people on the Patreon, already have had a little sneak peek at a blooper and heard a few things about it. But
Cheaters.
well, technically, It's a pay to win.
Pay to win. Fuck.
But yeah, is the last recording for the show is happening tonight. And Josh is GMing it because there are 2 GMs for this one.
Josh is the tits if you don't know Josh.
Yes. Josh on the poster as well as Gaming FTL. So yeah, had to announce that quickly. And keep an eye out for the show. I will be letting you know on the Twitter, on the Discord as it gets closer to time. And once it starts coming out, it'll be on the website as well. Website is something you should go and take a look at if you are interested in other shows. All of the shows are on there, easy to access, easy to find. It's got each episode and a playlist, and it's a lot easier. Pardon me. It's a lot easier than going through YouTube or wherever to try and like track down the right playlist and things.
No shit. The format of it's so much easier, dude. It's crazy. Like the amount of times when I just remember this very specifically when I was watching Dragon Riders, the first season, like it wouldn't autoplay. Like even if I put your playlist on, sometimes it would not autoplay to the next episode. It would go to something totally different from your catalog. I was like, what the fuck, YouTube? Who dropped you? Give me! Whereas the website doesn't do that, just FYI.
Yeah, it has all the episodes there, and I'm planning on getting a slightly better description of the shows and everything for the little like blurb above it and everything. It's one of those things which is I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but when you read like the synopsis for a show, you think, wow, that sounds kind of crap, and then you watch it and you're like, oh, that's amazing. It's really hard to describe these things sometimes.
Synopses can sell a show or break a show, in my opinion.
They
Like
can,
I read
yeah.
those a lot.
So apologies. Ad read done. Promo of things done. The QT. So last week, we. How did we start off last week? Oh yes, that's right. We started off with the drowned man coming out of the lake.
Yeah. Yep.
Quail
Sorry.
Town.
Last week was 12 pages of notes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Quail Town is currently a little bit rainy, a little bit dank and dark and damp, foggy, and we had the aftermath of the basketball game. I believe Will and Tori had a little heart-to-heart in the diner. Bertrand Gray turned up and
More like a
dampened the
forced
experience.
conversation.
Yeah.
Forced conversation. Yeah.
It was like an ambush.
And
It was popular though.
Yep.
At least according to our lovely summarized YouTube post.
Mr. Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't look at last week.
How
Oh my
dare
God,
you,
how could
Katie?
you not?
Oh no, because I
Blasphemy.
take notes.
And yes, then everyone organized up to go to the hospital. Correct me if I'm missing anything out in my summary
All
here.
right.
The blue flames. Cece's little.
There
Go
was a
ahead.
great conversation between Joel and George as well about like friend stuff. and
Right.
not
Oh
replacing
yeah, we
whatever.
talked about Casey and shit. That was like emotional.
Yeah.
There was some character building. Yeah, Joel's afraid I'm trying to replace Casey. Which never.
Which no one aside from the camera noticed the in-shadowed figure in the fog walking past them slowly. Which presumably, I don't know that word. The drowned man, right? Yeah. Probably.
But we did not see that. Like Joel and I are sitting there having a heart-to-heart, holding hands, talking about friendship, and this thing's like in the
Makes it
background.
And then they went to the hospital to go and investigate the case of the heart stealer. Once they got to the hospital, they walked through the threshold and found themselves in a tomb, sandstone and like torches on the wall. You know, the typical wood torches with like flames. and were presented face to face with Amit, who is an Egyptian god of the dead.
Describe that
Or
beast.
the underworld. Crocodile face, lion, leopard, torso, hippo, legs, and they weigh people. They are involved in the weighing of people's hearts to see where they go to in the afterlife, whether they've been good or bad or anything along those.
Did you
lines.
say
Like
they? Like there's more than one Amit?
No. Where
there's-
they go to after the afterlife. So people, humans.
Oh my god, I was like, is that a species?
No.
What do I need to be worried about here?
And presented with that, I believe Tori stepped forward and tried to give a command. And
Didn't work out.
it didn't quite happen. And then faced with essentially a very concerning situation, Cecilia stepped forward and erected a barrier after chanting, incanting a few words, which was eventually pushed through by Amit. And then some more incanting happened, and a very familiar blue flame turned up in Cecilia's hand, which she threw at Amit, wreathing Amit in flames, and that's where we finished.
After chanting some mysterious shit. I think she had some very specific words said,
Yes.
and then
I believe it was
You want me to repeat it?
yeah, go for it.
Dude,
I was
yeah.
gonna do it, but you can do it.
All right, I'll repeat the last one then.
Yes.
For everyone at home, this is for you. 1 for my mother, 2 for my father, 3 for my brother, and 4 for my sister. Freezing flame, unholy source, come from the depths and bend to my will. Scour the soul of mine enemy and burn away their being.
scour the soul. My fucking god.
Which we have heard before. Specifically, George heard that in the cafeteria.
Not by the Galangal.
It was just before burning blue flame hit the Manangangal. So,
And me.
And you.
and you. So, let's have a look here. We will. Sorry. That is the wrong one.
It's cool. I was writing down Cece's thing.
I love how LCT took like his chips and is just like waiting.
Okay.
Such a will move. Just sit there silently
I'm
crunching.
excited. I also muted my microphone so you guys don't hear the fucking crack.
Crunch.
So
Thank you for that.
if we consider a TV show, we would have just had the previously on the QT, and then it would have done the George and Joel having the conversation with the thing moving past, the conversation in the diner, the reveal of Amit, and then the bird bursting into flames, and then there'd be a cut, a black screen for a second, and then a few weeks earlier pops up on screen.
You forgot the stylized picture of Cecilia with a knife just stabbing us all in the back repeatedly.
I know.
And with a face of utter glee.
Tori
He
ain't
He
got a
didn't
problem.
forget. He's just still bleeding. He's
No
still
problem at
bleeding
all.
out.
No.
And then a little sign coming up and says Judas.
So, a couple of weeks earlier, Cecilia is sat on the ground in the early morning mist just outside the back of her house near the forest, as a chupacabra jumps at her, and as it does, she rolls to the side, and it lands where she was. She stands up, and the chupacabra swings around, its eyes glowing and a deep growl in its throat as it squares off against her again.
After the first hit, basically, I think she's not ready for this. This is like some fucked up shit that she's never seen before. So she knows that although in this moment where she's terrified of this thing, whatever it is, she can't run. She has to fight, because the moment she turns her back on this thing, it'll come after her and it'll just jump on top of her. So knowing that, she kind of like loses her shoulders a bit and then just like was like affirmation wise, okay, I got this. I got this. Yeah, sure. Yeah. All right. And she like holds there for a moment waiting to see what the next move of the chupacabra is, but like wanting to anticipate it to punch it in its side, basically.
Yeah, and it kind of growls for a second, and as she kind of squares off to it, she sees the muscles like tense in its shoulders and in its legs, and then it pounces at her again, going straight for her jugular.
She tries to, but reflexes, be it as fast as they may be, this is still a supernatural being. So she tries to barely roll underneath or slip to the side and tries to kick it, basically.
Yeah, and the kick kind of like knocks it a little bit off course, and the one of the claws of the chupacabra just scrapes across her side very slightly as it spins around. She kind of topples over onto her back hand, and it spins around again and kind of starts to, after a second, it starts to pace around her slightly, kind of going around to the side.
With like getting hit, I think there's a moment where she's like actually in pain. And basically for a moment she tries to, in the peripheral, see if she can find someone there, because this is not something she thinks she can deal with. And she's desperately trying to find something, anything, to get the better of this beast, to get better in the situation, because it's pretty dire.
And as it starts to slowly kind of creep around the side of Cecilia, with a hand on the ground, you feel almost like a rush of blood like through your veins. This sense of kind of like warmth and almost like, hard to describe, but almost like strength kind of flow through you from your hand on the ground, and you feel a little lighter. You feel a little bit more confident. You feel a little bit more strong.
With like a sudden spark of strength, she will try to rush towards the chupacabra and try to just pat it in the face.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Snout.
So
yeah, you push yourself up and you kind of like charge forward. As you do, you take the chupacabra a little bit by surprise, and it doesn't spring. Instead, it kind of goes for like a like jaw clamp on your leg. It tries to grab your leg there as you're charging in, but you kind of, it's not really a punch. It's more of like an open-handed slap. And as it goes for your leg, you like lean forward and just swish your hand, and it like slaps the side of the chupacabra's face, sending it kind of like swirling and skidding, kind of rolling over and over, until it like stops. There's a little yelp as you hit it, and then it's after a couple of seconds it kind of shakes itself off, and stands up again, and turns to you, looks at you, and goes back down into that kind of hunting crouch, and slowly starts to stalk forward.
And she, with a little more space between them, she like puts up both her hands in this like calming gesture, and like hunches down a little bit, and like just goes like, "Easy there. We don't need to fight. You can just go back wherever you came from. You really don't need to do this. You can just go. Not gonna hurt you. I just leave. Leave."
Are you trying to connect with it, or are you just trying to calm it down?
Trying to calm it down, but in a situation like this, where I'm literally the only one in the field right now, no one else is there, and this is a beast that could quite possibly tear me apart, that I've never seen before, I try to calm it down.
Yeah.
But I guess something inside me is desperate to try to get it to do it, to try to get it to behave like an animal and flee basically after this. So maybe not intentionally, but definitely there.
So as you start to talk to it, it does slow down a little bit, and it does seem to be a little bit kind of uncertain, unsure. You also feel yourself, I think possibly for the first time, kind of subconsciously connect with something else. And as you do, as you kind of like make that connection, as you kind of breach that gap, you feel a flowing of sensation, of primal urge and energy rush into you. You feel the need to feed, to consume, to grow, to dominate, to... It is the entirety of purpose is just to do this. And it flows into you, and it muddles your brain, and it seeps into the core of who you are. And as you like raise your eyes and look at it in the eye, you feel the sensation of being the alpha, of that domination, of being so strong and so powerful that other things have to follow what you say. And as you do, as you feel that sensation, you see a shimmering kind of like slightly blue sheen form over the chupacabra as it's crouched down a little bit unsure, and that sheen slowly like starts to compress and move in, like essentially trapping the chupacabra in between what seems to be some type of field or something like that, until it and splats. And
I think throughout this whole thing, the feelings flowing inside really messing with my head. scaring me probably, because getting consumed by this overwhelming need of having to consume, to kill, to grow, that simplistic animalistic thing, but that's all that fills your head at that moment, especially for someone who's very logical and very structured in her head. That overwhelming feeling of just pure animalistic instinct, it makes like Cecilia's hands shake as she's standing there, like as she's holding them out, they're like shaking so hard, and there's like her heartbeat rises up because it's like panic, but then also rising up with not panic but the thrill of the hunt. And slowly that like panic and that fear trembling her hands starts becoming this anticipation almost.
Yeah.
As her like, as she maybe takes one of her hands and like moves them a little bit, as like she sees like claws forming there.
The fingers elongate a little, the sharpened ends, and a very slight kind of like lizardy, scaly kind of sheen forming.
And I think for a moment as she looks up, just a moment before that blue field starts happening,
Yeah.
there's like this, somehow her vision feels different.
Clearer.
It just feels different, but it also feels right. And as this like bloodlust that was first loaned from this thing becomes like something inside her, becomes something of, wait, no, I want this. I will tear this thing apart if that is what it takes to establish my dominance here.
Yeah.
If I need to do this to survive, then I fucking will. And
then
yeah,
the shield comes down, closes in, and squashes the chupacabra so it explodes in splatter and gore. And you hear from behind you, I would prefer not to have to do the same thing to you, so if you wouldn't mind, young lady, if you could keep a tamper on that feral instinct.
she rapidly swerves around to look at who is here and who squished that thing like it was nothing.
And as you do, there's something you see that gives you pause. A chainsaw.
Never.
And suddenly Jason busts through the door.
A four-stroke chainsaw.
So as you like wheel around, kind of in a semi like crouched, kind of fairly predatory stance, I would say like there is a moment where that energy and that like that feeling of that like hot pumping through your veins goes cold for a second as your instincts kick in and you find yourself looking at a hunter. Essentially what your instincts tell you here is this is something that is designed, that is intent on hunting and on killing.
I look very warily.
So, if you just breathe, find your center again, let that influence seep out of you. There you go. Calm. You feeling a little bit better?
What? Trying not to freak out. Here. Trying. And she like looks at her hands and they're like normal again. She's like clutching them intensely. She's like trying.
There you go. Not too difficult. Just requires a little bit of self-control. Now.
I don't like it. I mean, I do something and he likes it, but I don't.
So, Miss Grayson, you will momentarily be joined by another one of your teachers, Mr. Ashford. He is on his way here even now. If you wouldn't mind, I have a lot to talk to you about and a lot to explain. For now, if you would go with him and come and see me after class. And we'll talk about everything then, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Knight. All right, yeah. Thank you.
Happy to help. And, if you could keep this quiet for now, we have a lot of work to do and not much time, so I'll tell you everything afterwards.
Sure, Ashford is a shitty teacher, either way. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All right, yeah. Yeah.
All right. My advice is just tell him that you destroyed the beast, and he should take you to a couple of other people like you.
Yeah.
All right. And Mr. Knight nods at you and turns around and walks off through the crisp grass, as it is still a little bit frosty. And the scene fades with Mr. Ashford. You see him as kind of walking over the hill down towards the forest, down towards you. Looking a little bit surprised almost, with his head to the side, he sees you and the mangled corpse of a chupacabra.
And Cecilia looks back in full surprise as well. Still in shock.
And the scene fades as we rejoin a burning, currently, Amit, who you hear like kind of she's kind of flailing, and there's a little bit of a kind of like as she moves on with blue flames still all over her. She kind of knocks into one of the pillars, these like sandstone pillars, that kind of like knocks over to the side and falls over until she stops and stands for a second, and the blue flame starts to die down and die out. You see the same figure, crocodile face and kind of long elongated torso and the lower half as well. And she says, "A silly trick, and one that isn't just a little bit aggravating."
I tried, guys.
Tori is giving you a look that's like, you could do that the whole time. It's like in this look, there is comprised within it the sentence, you could do that the whole time and you didn't fucking say anything. You know what I mean? Like,
And you get a look back which says, you told me to just go all in. You commanded me to go all in. She gives you that like obvious look back like,
okay, good.
I love the idea of a look that just says, bitch, what?
Yeah.
Any other ideas? And she starts like taking steps back as well. She's like, any other ideas on how to take care of a god, you guys?
Can I see anything? I hope not at all. I literally have the power of observation. That is my thing.
Yes.
So
you can see the representation of what appears to be an Egyptian god in front of you.
I know that, and the spectral forms of people running around the actual hallway.
Yeah.
Like, I have nothing to contribute right now.
You can see the walls and where the walls of the hospital are, so you can see both the walls and the walls of the hospital. They do align with each other, but at the same time you can see. So technically, you can see out the windows and stuff as well.
Tori is looking between the group and goes like, "Who has the purest heart?" Like between all of us.
You're gonna let him eat one of our hearts?
He doesn't eat, he just weighs them. She doesn't eat them. I don't know.
I mean, George would not step up to that one.
Tori's looking at George like,
Hey, George. Amit means devourer of the dead. You devour the dead, right? We could just do a little switcheroo.
I mean,
How do
I
you
stepped
feel
up to try to
about
eat
an
the
alligator
bitch.
head.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, as all four of you are kind of having a little bit of a
bickering.
Yeah, a little bit of a bicker. You hear a hissing from behind you.
Oh God.
In which case, I imagine anyone who turns around to see, because it's kind of like a. You see the sandstone wall that had blocked your escape slowly turning into sand and falling.
Okay, time to go.
At the ground, and as it does, a figure steps through the sand as it's falling. She has these really big, thick, like platform shoes that look like they should be from the 70s. She has a like proper bowl cut, just like a bowl cut all around the top of her head. Dark, like jet black hair, and she steps in and goes, "All right, there, kids. Everyone doing okay?"
Who the fuck are you?
The IRA
No,
has
and
arrived.
Cecilia tried.
Syrinx froze.
Oh,
That's the cutest freeze face, though. I just have to say, she looks so adorable. Like that is okay. Now it's broken.
LS. Yeah.
Now she's turned to me. She's fallen asleep.
You're back. You're back.
Okay.
You're back.
okay.
Back.
Syrinx.
So,
Back.
I was lost there for a minute and a void.
So the woman looks at you for a second, George, and says, "I'm Isabella Cole. Do you mind if I?"
Be our
Be
fucking
my
guest. Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
She steps forward past you, and as she's walking towards Amit, she says, "Call me Bella if you like." And she steps up until she's like
Mom?
standing right in front of Amit, who looks down at her and says, "Foolish mortal, do you think that you can And as she gets to the word to defeat, Bella holds up her hand and punches Amit in the face. which does literally nothing. It's literally real look in real time. It's like think on her face. And it pauses for a second and then says, "Do you think that this is a joke?" And Bella like spins around, walks back towards all of you, and says, "Hey kids, have you ever seen a god bow?" And Amit's head just goes and slams into the floor.
Oh shit!
That wasn't expected.
All right.
That's a god?
It's not really a god, but it's kind of like a representation of one.
Gross. They could have done better.
All right, well, there's no point in standing around here. Come on, let's go. And she starts to kind of like usher you all out of the...
I mean, we're going.
Yeah.
Out of there.
So, like, I don't have to eat it then.
Oh, no, it's fine. I'll be back in a second to deal with her.
Oh,
So she's just stuck? Okay, bye. As they walk out.
and like as you George like looks back still a bit and stuff, and is like still like oh okay, oh yeah, like Cecilia just like pushes her forward and is like no, just leave, just leave.
Yeah, and as she's ushering you out, you hear her muttering like, "Honestly, who tells someone to go and deal with who tells kids to go and deal with a god like apparition? I don't know." And like pushes you out, and when you get outside, she says, "All right, now which one of you is Cecilia?"
To be sure. Sorry, I had to.
Yes, I
Yes.
Wh-
Your... I don't know what you'd really call him. Your master, your teacher, asked me to come and get you. Said you're in a bit of a spot of bother. So, oh, there he is now. And she points over across the parking lot, and Mr. Knight is standing there.
oh
Master?
teacher, yes,
And Mr. Knight steps forward and says, "Apologies, Cecilia, but the need for subterfuge is over. We have some work to do, so if you wouldn't mind, we're going to have to leave."
Yeah, yes, Mr. Knight,
There are people in trouble, and we have to help them.
What the shit? Wait.
Sure, yes. And she turns to the others as she like walks backward a bit and is like, I will get you guys at school.
Yeah. See ya. Have a
And
good
Bye.
one, I
And she
guess.
and she like turns around.
I turned to George and Will, and I'm like, at least when I left, I told people what I was doing. What the hell is this?
And as Cecilia and Mr. Knight turn and walk away, they're swallowed by the mist eventually and disappear from sight. Isabella looks at the other three of you and says, "That seemed a bit dramatic. Everything all right?"
What the fuck just happened?
What?
I think it's pretty clear what just happened. There really isn't that much to discuss. She's working with Mr. Knight the same way we were working for well, you're still working for Ashford, and now I have this other thing with Bertram, you know? So all arrangements and connections. It's not really that difficult to understand. She was the only one where Ashford was like, "Oh, she doesn't owe anything." So, I mean, come on. You really think something wasn't going on?
Oh, are you three working for Ruben?
Not me. Not anymore. But
oh,
I
that's
help
right.
them.
You said you're helping Bertrand?
I mean, I'm doing a favor for Bertrand at some point when he asks me to.
Oh,
Sure.
well, that's nice. Good luck with that.
Just not saying anything, just looking.
I
at
don't
people
get why
back and
you're
forth.
so confused. Like looking at George, like
There was a god.
I'm it.
And
oh
we
yeah, that part obviously.
and then Cece, like, I don't know, like, is every teacher in this school a new version of Professor Xavier? What the fuck is going on?
Well,
How many
the
X-Men's do we need?
way it was explained to me, she says in a way that's like, I don't know, but maybe,
Yeah.
is that the town is sort of a magnet or like a point of conflux, you know, like everything is sort of like a whirlpool
Mm.
pulling into it. And so weirder stuff happens at the center of where the weirder stuff is happening, which is here. And so like the concentration of weird stuff
So
is
Weird
here.
stuff is attracting more weird stuff.
Pretty much.
Turn attracts more weird stuff.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. Things
So it's a
migrate
weird stuff, black
here
hole?
and get drawn here and all that type of thing.
Like on Star Trek.
But
Huh?
there's like people in our town that don't have any idea any of this is happening and just get to go on with their lives not facing crocodile hippos, right?
The majority of regular, normal people tend not to know.
I feel like it's one of those things where the more you know, the more you notice that you know, right? Like we know weird stuff is real, and therefore weird stuff is more obvious. We don't immediately write it off as, I don't know, like weather or
Also,
whatever.
because all of you are a little bit, let's call it touched, maybe, you all stand out a little bit more. Which means that, in a similar way, these type of things tend to be drawn to you.
It's probably not the way I would have described it, but yeah, I'm sure.
Lovely.
So, who are the rest of you? I've introduced myself.
I'm Will.
Will. And, what's with the eye?
Oh, sorry. It tries to unmanifest.
Oh, no, it's fine, it's fine. I'm just wondering what it is.
Is it devil eye?
The devil's eye. Oh, jeez. How are you doing with the fire? You haven't, like, accidentally set fire to something yet, have you?
I didn't know that was a possibility.
Will, you can burn shit?
So, the devil's eye is kind of, it's all about emotion. You know, it's all
I
about
noticed that.
it's all about passion. So,
Well, that's fucking lost on him. God.
all right, calm down. I'll get you in a moment, Missy.
Yeah, Will shoots an evil eye at George.
The evil eye.
Yeah, but both of them though.
So,
set fire to your face.
next time you have a need, what you should do, young man, is you should feel that emotion, feel it burning up, let it pool up there in your eye there, and see something burning, see something, be it a tree, well, you probably shouldn't go with a tree to begin with, but something along those lines. You know, take a scarecrow
Person.
or something. Not a person, no. But a little bit of practice, you should be able to get the hang of it.
I don't even smoke.
Oh, it's no, it's more of a let that emotion build up, and you should be able to manifest some fire. Starting off, it'll probably just be a small smolder, but give it some time, give it some practice. You should find yourself being able to manifest it properly. And then, later on, more will come. Do you want to give it a go?
Do it. What are you doing?
Well, we're not going to do it here. Come on. Let's, come.
Oh.
You don't have to be anywhere tonight, I'm guessing, for now? No other prior engagements?
Home.
No, I thought we might die, but that was... Thank you for that, by the way.
Oh, sure, no problem. I was engaged to save the children in the hospital, so...
The children...
You four.
In the hospital?
Oh, okay. We're the
That's
children.
where we were.
You were just in the hospital there, and she points at the hospital behind you.
George, are you okay? Did you
Where are the
sustain a
children,
head
George?
injury or?
I'm having a really hard time just processing this whole situation. I'm sorry.
It takes some time getting used to it. It's all right.
It was a hospital, and then it was a cave, and then there was a god.
If you survive, then a couple of years you'll be fine with it. It'll be kind of become the new normal.
Yeah.
So come on, let's step away from the hospital and all these people who can see the slightly more overt things, like someone's eye being red and scaly. Yeah, it's
Will is still trying to get rid of it.
Yeah. And she turns around and starts.
Wait, so we're going to see if Will can set something on fire? I feel like this I have to see.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
What are you so... You sound excited about that. Don't sound
I'm
excited
jealous,
about
bro.
So, if you're following, which I'm guessing it sounds like you are, she walks you probably a couple of blocks into the outskirts of the center of town. Kind of, there's a few buildings here and there, but more trees and more gardens and parks and things start to crop up. And she stops outside. There's got a few park benches and a couple of those those horses on springs that go back and forth.
Yeah.
There's one of those, and
Which is great fun when you're an adult because you're way too much and you just go boink,
Flop back and forth.
fucking
Yeah.
around.
I would have done that.
And she rummages in one of her pockets as you hear this kind of crinkle crackle, and she pulls out this kind of it looks like a sweet wrapper or something, and she walks over to one of the tables, twists it up, and kind of pokes it into one of the holes in the table, and it's just kind of sticking out there a little bit. And she walks back and she says, "Okay, go."
Is there's no one around, right?
No.
Okay, so
It's
Will
quite
will
late, and, yeah.
bring the eye back by realizing how fucking useless he was in a time of actual crisis, how he couldn't do anything except wait for someone to rescue him. And the eye just goes quang and it fucking springs back.
Yeah.
And not like a, hey, it's just turned into the kind of a reptilian slit eye. No, full on.
Does it rip out of your face? Like it's underneath or something, or is it your skin on top ripples
I always
into
thought of
it?
it like the skin cracks.
Yeah, it kind of cracks and forms and slowly manifests. It kind of almost like those pin the toys that are pin. You put your face in them or
Yes.
your hand in them. A little bit like that. It just slowly kind of comes out like that.
So much creepier. Sorry to interrupt. I had to know.
So yeah, Will does that and just whang, jumps out, and he goes, okay. And he stares at. I assume she wants him to, light the wrapper on fire.
Yeah.
That seemed like the intent. So
Yeah.
he tries to visualize and manifest the way she said.
All right.
I don't know how well it goes, but let's give it a go.
Let's find out.
Doesn't the eye slowly become bigger over time? Does it slowly start to take over your face the more powerful you get?
It hasn't so far.
But we don't know. I guess Will wouldn't know then, right?
Yeah. Or if it has at all, it is imperceptible currently. Like, it doesn't seem like much of a change.
I don't think a lot of us like to look at Will when he has it out, to be honest, for us to tell.
You can't see, but his
Imagine
entire
wanting
scalp
to-
under the hair is
Imagine
also
wanting
red.
to look at Will even before he has the eye. Come
Hey,
on.
what's
hey,
all the
hey
what's
now,
with the
Tori.
bully?
Hey
What's
now.
with the fucking bully?
Holy shit, that
No
was
bully, Will. No bully.
savage.
I felt that burn.
Will, could you please give me a hit with all you got?
Do I get
As
any
a tear
extras?
falls down the scaly eye.
You will get extras for high motivation,
Strong vision.
strong vision, high focus,
Yeah.
and I would say spatially aware.
Okay, so 4.
Technically speaking, if it wasn't a weakness, hyperfocus could also work. But
Yeah, exactly.
I would say awkward is a weakness.
Do you think he would care though right now?
Well, it's not so much him like
Yeah.
manifesting his awkwardness. It's the fact that he's awkward could mean that he misses, or it goes a bit wrong.
Okay, so 4 and 1.
Yes.
Hit with all you've got. Mild success.
Oh no.
Hey!
I rolled a fucking 1.
Damn it.
1 and a 3. Loopy.
It's
So
about time. We had some fabulous rolls there for
I
this.
love
true.
the idea of that small tendril of smoke and it just crumples up but doesn't light on fire.
So, as Will focuses, the same way he thinks about things that gets him emotional and it starts to build and it starts to ball, it starts, that kind of hot feeling of a mix of anger and frustration, and I'm guessing you're just going to carry it on from feeling a bit useless in the...
Oh yes,
Yes.
that feeling did not dissipate with the manifestation of the eye. It's very much still there.
Yeah, it builds, and you feel it like concentrating kind of in your eye, kind of like right behind the back of your eyeball. It almost like an itchy, hot sensation. And as it's there, as you keep seeing to yourself, you see like this flame like burst and consume not just the sweet wrapper, but you see it in your mind like consuming the table, consuming the grass around it, consuming the trees around it, and just a tiny little bit of smoke just wisps up, and the wrapper itself like crinkles a little bit and twists in on itself, and
Yeah, I figured it was plastic. It's gonna melt rather than burn.
Yeah. and it just kind of like melts. There's a little ember there that you can see for a second in the dark, where it and then the little bit of smoke comes up from it, and Isabella says, "Oh, all right, it's a start." Essentially,
What did he do?
well, he just
Will's still staring at it.
yeah.
It's starting to turn red.
I'll probably like slide up next to Tori, just like, did he do it? I didn't see shit.
I mean, kinda.
All right. Good job, bro. Woo!
And as you keep going, she puts her hand on your shoulder and says, "That's all right. That's fine for now. Do a little bit of practice here and there. You'll in a couple of weeks you'll be setting things on fire like you shouldn't be setting things on fire." And walks over to Tori and puts her hand on her shoulder and says, "What about you?"
Tori's like, excuse me, like steps back from the casual touching. No, thank you.
Oh, my apologies.
And she says, my name, Tori. I
Pleasure to meet you,
can
Tori.
tell people to do things, and they have to do them.
Interesting. That could be a few different things. Do you have control of people's movements and...
No, I just
No?
say you need a demonstration. George, sit down.
George just like plops in crisscross applesauce on the ground next
Yeah.
to her. God damn it, I have to pee.
I mean, you can get back up, I think. Can you?
You Can't seem to, no.
I don't know, Tori. Maybe tell me to.
Tori
does Tori
waits.
actually
Tori
laugh
waits.
as well?
Yeah, Tori waits like a long 3 seconds. There is too much amusement. And then she's like,
glare, like.
and then
"Are you
she's like,
fucking with me?"
you can do whatever you want.
And she'll like, probably because she was pushing off the ground that whole time, like fly up real quick. Oh my god. Thanks. Yep. Cool. Thanks.
And then she looks over to Bella like, see?
Okay. That's a useful one to have. Have you, have you tried at all to, see the extent of what you can do now?
What do you mean? The extent? I mean, I told a whole bar to go home, and they did.
Right. I mean, but that's just kind of expanding what you're able to do, right? So, you know, for example, it would be the equivalent of your boy here, setting a big thing on fire as opposed to a one thing.
Okay.
Like, for example, have you tried to, have you had any, experiments with, like, embedding a command in someone?
I mean, I told someone to leave Cecilia alone, which I assume would be something ongoing.
Sure, but what I mean here is more laying a command in someone so that, for example, when they see something or when they experience something, they perform a certain action.
Oh, like kind of like a delayed reaction.
Yes, a little bit like that. So, for example, you can try with your gal here, and
just test with George.
and you can have it so that when someone says the word, let's say apple, she has to sit down.
Interesting. I hadn't considered.
Oh no.
that. I look at George a little bit like, oh, I don't want to.
Does it have to be sitting?
What do you want?
It could just be some really weird places to sit, man. I don't know, whistle.
It doesn't have to be sitting or anything like that. Go with a bark. Make her bark when someone says apple.
Please let her say, when someone says apple, let her say, I don't like apples. As an immediate reaction.
I have a really fun one. Here we go.
All right, now.
George like takes a tentative step back.
George, when somebody asks what your name is, you bark.
And
No.
there is the usual sensation of salt air, and you actually see this time you see Isabella kind of like she has a little bit of a sniff. George, your eyes go slack and a little bit, out of focus, and then you snap back to it pretty quickly, but with no knowledge of what you were.
Yeah, but I heard her. Do I hear her make the command?
You know that she's going to make a command, but you don't hear what she's saying.
It manifests, yeah. And
yeah,
then,
when she uses the power, it's essentially,
Yeah.
All right, let's see how this goes. George, what's your name?
Woof. Oh, fuck you.
Delightful.
What's your name?
Woof.
That's not bad.
I'm going to eat you.
You're gonna. That wouldn't be very nice. Then we're just testing
Woof.
things. Look. Forget what I told you to do, and
What did you do?
be back to normal. Just like command again.
Yeah,
Is that a
and-
command again?
And the
Yeah.
command goes out, and there's kind of a.
George, what did you do? Did you make me a dog?
No, I didn't
It's-
make you a dog. All I did, George, was I told you and I'm not telling you now, this is like an explanation, okay? That when someone asks your name, you would bark. And that just like seems to be ongoing, which is so cool.
What?
So you can like mind fuck.
It should be released now. So what's your name?
George.
There you
Okay,
go.
well, she didn't
Fine.
bark.
It's fine now. All right. So now, having said this, the
George.
The possibilities of your powers are astounding.
Tori's just like, George, it's okay. I'm sorry. I got carried away, okay?
well now, this is a very useful thing to be able to do now, because what it means is if you need to leave a message for someone, you can actually leave the message in a person, and then you can tell them that when they see the person who they need to give the message to, they just say the message and forget it. So
I mean, the other thing is like, message nothing. You could have every single person you ever meet be under some kind of crazy trigger that if you were in danger, they would help you.
oh, for
Or
sure,
like
for
get in
sure.
the way.
I mean, even past that, if you're going down the more dodgy route of these kind of things, you could, you could go up to someone and say, if you see the president, then shoot them.
I mean, that's not something I would do.
That's far.
No, of course not. I'm just saying, if you ever want to be, an assassin or anything in later life, then, you've got a pretty good ability to do so.
You know, I could see it.
Not a. Tori standing there getting judged by George as an assassin. She's like, not a career path that I had considered.
She feels
Not
judged.
one that I'm
George was
thinking about.
complimenting.
Not one that I consider, but not to be dismissed out of hand.
I mean, your dad does surgery. What's the difference?
At that point, there's this kind of like, and like crackle as the table sets on fire.
What the shit?
Oh. Put it out! Help!
Yeah, I don't have water powers.
Oh shit! I'm gonna try to eat it.
Eat the fire?
Yeah.
All right. So you like run over to the fire, and you kind of there for
Do
a
that,
second,
like,
and then you go.
Stand like a sumo wrestler.
And as you keep breathing in and keep breathing in, the fire starts off like slightly leaning towards you, and then like a trail of fire just like goes into your mouth and down. You feel it going into
Yes.
that into the void space you have.
Savings place.
A little bit kind of swirling, a little bit now hot, as the fire itself is lifted off the table, and the entirety of it is sucked into your stomach. Well, yeah, not into your stomach, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once
Nice.
if once I see that it's completely gone, that I've done what I told my inner whatever Jeff to do, I'll like kind of stand up straight and go over, and I want to touch the table and feel like if it's actually gone or if it's in my head. Like, is it hot? Is there evidence that it was actually on fire? Like, is it all crispy?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
The
then.
the table itself is crispy and charred, and but it essentially you pulled the fire off before it started consuming and getting out of control. So it's like singed and burned a little bit. It's not really like charcoal or anything.
Is the gum wrapper any evidence of a gum wrapper there?
Oh,
I just
no,
want to pick it.
that's
Nothing.
gone.
Okay. I'll just turn around to Will and like go to high five him. Like, nice one, bro.
Will just goes.
I ate your touch. Special stuff. Wild.
Yeah.
Isabella walks up to you, George, and like kind of like stares at you, like really quite close. Just kind of like looking at your chin and that kind of area, and then reaches out and like touches your jaw and kind of wobbles it a little bit like that. She goes,
Oh, what are you doing?
"Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just I was just wondering what your one is."
Chef Jeff. And I think a big eyeball.
Chef
He eats
Jeff
things.
and a big eyeball.
Amit called her Leviathan.
There was a whole bunch of tentacles at one point.
Oh, I forgot. Amit was throwing names.
Tori's
She
a
called
fish.
me a-
and
she called me a
George is
fish.
Leviathan.
All right, then. Interesting.
She's very good at
Not a-
eating things.
I am not a fish.
Is Leviathan a thing? Or was that like a... Were we throwing hands?
No, it should be probably a thing.
You look
Tell me,
unsure.
Can you like widen your mouth?
Why? My mouth.
Kind of.
I can open my mouth?
Right. You can, but you can get it further than that, though, right?
I don't know. Cece was the only one there that saw this happen, so I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, and she's gonna kind of like glance at Tori and Will, realizing that she's about to spout some absolute bullshit that might fuck them up. So I went to a graveyard and like was told to take care of some things, and I tried to do the eating thing to take care of some things, and I blacked out. And when I came to, the thing was over with. And by that I mean I may or may not have consumed an entire graveyard of corpses, but I don't exactly know what happened.
An entire.
All right.
Is that why your breath smells so bad?
Bitch, shut your mouth.
So, you should be able to get your mouth wider, because like there's no point in being able to consume things like that. If
Like a snake?
if you
That's
can't.
what she said.
Yeah. You're not here. So just wide. Try widen your mouth.
And she's gonna think back to the graveyard, how Cece like kind of panic explained her jaw dropping and shit.
Yeah.
But the way that happened was her like reaching into the Chef Jeff thing.
Yeah.
So that's what she'll do, even though she knows this lady's just saying to open her mouth. She won't open her mouth, but she'll kind of like go glossed over and like try to call on, like talk to Chef Jeff or whatever and be like, bitch here wants to see what's up.
So
Because I don't know how else to do it.
as you start to like feel that pull down deep inside, you actually feel her like grab your jaw again and kind of shake her head. She says, "No, don't go anywhere. Just try and open your mouth. Like get it as wide as you can."
I can't do it. Wait, hang on.
Right. Sorry.
Open.
If you want, I can give you a little bit of a hand.
With no, I'm good. I think I can open my mouth, and at that she'll be like, and like open her mouth like a normal, like a sassy teenager. Like,
Just imagine someone going, stand still.
Okay.
dude, totally off topic, but I totally watched a horror movie last night where someone literally tore their own jaw off. It was wild. Anyways, yeah,
And
fucking gory.
She kind of looks at you and goes, "Okay, no, it's not exactly what I mean. But what you're wanting to do here is you're wanting to get your mouth all the way open,
Like a snake.
like a snake, yeah."
Yeah, just unhinge your jaw, George.
Oh,
Come
okay,
on.
yeah.
It's not that hard.
Anybody got a rock? Okay. And she's gonna turn away from everybody and kind of like,
Moment of privacy.
yeah, like literally, like she'll have a
I
moment
can't
with
do
this
it when you
silence
guys
behind her.
looking.
Stop getting
Like-
mocked by people.
She's got bad breath, and everyone's telling her she can unhinge her face like a snake, and the stranger won't stop touching her, and she's gonna break out. It's a really stressful time in a teenager's life. And then she'll spin back around, look at her, and just with all her might, just do the same thing.
Yeah.
But like, slam her jaw. And in her mind, she's, the way they talk about yoga, like reach your spine to the sky. She's gonna fucking reach her chin to the ground.
Yeah. And
Just-
George opens her mouth, and she feels like there's like a kind of elasticy, stretchy feeling but it's like it's very vague and it's hard to grasp, and like your mouth opens a little bit wider than usual, but kind of like so. As things have been so far, George is a little bit panicky when it comes to like supernatural stuff and sensations and feelings and everything. So I feel like her subconscious would be like, "Oh no, we're not doing any of this crazy shit." Like,
Oh, she's totally fighting her inner voice.
Yeah.
Like, stop it. Yeah.
so there's like to the other two of you, it looks a little bit freaky, a little bit like the beginning of a horror film. But it doesn't go very far, and it kind of like slowly contracts back as well after a couple of seconds. And Isabella says, "Do you mind if I just help you?"
George, that is fucked up.
I feel like once you've done it once, you'll know the sensation. You'll know it's possible. You'll stop fighting it.
Yeah, let her help you with your first time, George. Come on.
Okay, but like, I'm just gonna lean in really close to Bella's face, like whisper in her ear, like, "There's like fucking tentacles."
It should be alright as long as you don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Alright. And she says, "Okay now, don't panic." And you feel the sensation of like heavy weight on the bottom of your jaw, and like kind of in your teeth and on the edges of your jaw and everything, and your jaw just goes and like hits the floor.
What does it look like from the sides? Is it like just my face fucking elongated?
Oh yeah, it just elongates. It's like the cheeks stretch, and the mouth itself kind of widens a fair amount. It looks a little bit like a tunnel.
But I'm still here.
You're still there. You're still conscious, and you just kind of have your it looks, you know, in the cartoons when someone's jaw drops to the floor, it looks like that a little bit.
Secret tunnel. I'll probably like kind of panic, like.
It's fine. And you feel that sensation of weight like lift from you, the weight on your chin, and you can feel like it slowly starts to, unless you try and keep it there, it starts to like retract and like come back up, and eventually like kind of settles back in to a regular.
While it contracts, she'll probably take that moment to, open it a little bit and contract. So you'll probably see it like go down and up, down, up. Just she's playing with it a little, like that
going
control.
back up, and then it goes back down. Yeah, and it's kind of
exactly.
like, okay, yeah, I get the sensation, I get the feeling.
Yep.
And then
once
it goes back
like,
up.
locks, it probably like clicks back in. She'll probably like kind of look at everybody like, "I'm sorry."
So there you go now.
That was horrifying.
Yeah.
But kind of awesome.
That should allow you to eat things a little bit bigger than, just a mouth size.
Okay, but like, why didn't the happen? What's that?
I'm guessing that in that situation you were in more of a life or death type situation.
Super death. Yeah, there was a lot there.
It can always be a little bit dangerous. Sometimes we dig a little bit too deeply into what we are, and there's depths to the things that have become a part of us. And if you go too deep into those depths, sometimes you can find things you're not quite ready for.
I think I found that thing once. Sick. So do I need you every time I want to like...
Oh no, you remember the sensation now?
That's it? I just... Okay.
Just, yeah, give it a go now if you like.
She'll probably like turn away from everybody and be like... okay. And, slowly that sensation in her eyes will just bulge as it starts to drop. Like, this is the fucking grossest.
It starts to drop, and you actually now feel the sensation of like when you sucked in the gas, like when you sucked in the fire.
Yeah.
You can feel that possibility there. Only a bit stronger, a bit more potent, because the like area which you can. I hate this power sometimes. The area which you can suck is bigger.
Nah, I love to suck. It's totally cool. I like it. No, I get it. True facts, though. I was kind of thinking that, like, maybe when I don't do the draw trap thing, it actually takes more, like, effort on my part.
Yeah, it's more
Whereas,
effort, right?
yeah, this is probably, like, almost no effort. And if it's an effort situation, that's probably when the comes out.
If you'll allow me, a image has formed in your head a little bit when you do the drawing things in, the sucking. It's of a little red Henry the Hoover with the nose. and
Yeah.
essentially that's the visualization you get when you start to like Hoover.
I keep picturing my face like the chick from Beetlejuice. Like,
Yeah.
Kinda.
the tongue just like dangling while I panic.
So
Sick. So
uh,
after that, she'd probably put her jaw back up and like again look at everybody. Like she's just making sure no one's running away.
Yeah.
This is violently scary.
And I'm sorry, I didn't ask your name. Your name.
Fine.
You did, but she barked at the time.
That is true,
It's George,
George.
not a bark.
All right.
I don't know. George, bark, similar.
So, you said the two of you is with Ruben, and you yourself are there with Bertrand, right?
With is a strong word. I am going to do $25,000 worth of favor for Bertrand.
Hmm.
She thinks.
Oh, that's impressive. Usually Bertrand only goes for like a couple of thousand.
Yeah, well, when I can command a bank teller to get whatever money we want, I mean,
Right.
Didn't somebody say
right.
you're like the
Makes
most
sense.
expensive out of us or some shit?
that's what Ashford made me pay the most.
Yeah. She's apparently hella special.
Ah, now see. Are all of you indebted to Ruben?
Allegedly.
Hmm. Okay. That makes sense.
Well, except Tori and CC. Will, look at me.
Mm? Will is looking at the table.
You haven't swapped teams, right?
No. I'm on
Just let me know.
your team.
Confusing.
Well,
Are we pets?
if you're willing to take my advice, Tori, is it? You may want to borrow like, I don't know, $10 off Ruben or something like that.
Yeah, there was some mention of protection or what have you, but I'm fine. I can handle it.
All right. Well,
I don't
you know,
need him peering over my shoulder.
So
let's
what is
count
with
you.
the teachers and us? Can you know any? Can you tell us? Because they're so vague.
Oh, sure. What do you want to know?
Why?
Why?
How come every time one of us was in a dire situation, suddenly one of our teachers showed up to save us and or guide us in the right direction, and now suddenly we owe them enormous amounts of cash?
Well, the cash thing, that's really Ruben's deal. He
Bertrand's doing it too.
sure, but Bertrand's just interested in the money. Ruben doesn't care about the money. It's just a way of you being indebted to him.
Okay, but when I said I didn't want to be indebted to him, he straight up was going to let me die to him along like all. Menangangal. Menangangal? Menangangal. Sorry, that's so hard for my throat.
Yeah.
It's all the sucking. Menangangal. Damn it. He doesn't seem like he has our best interests in mind.
I wouldn't necessarily say he has your best interests in mind. But the debt is a way of keeping you safe. To a degree.
Okay, and so Tori's not safe.
Oh no. Especially
Oh.
not with Bertrand.
She's just gonna look at Tori like, what the fuck? Are you aware?
I mean, I just don't like
Am I
the
the only
idea
one that realizes we're still kids?
Well, you're kids, sure, but you're also, for example, able to consume pretty much anything and store it or destroy it. Set fires, command people to do whatever they want. You know, there's an aspect of being a kid, but sure. But there's also an aspect of basically being, you know, a pretty dangerous weapon, potentially at least.
So we are pets.
You can.
You see, that's why I wanted to get out of the whole indebted thing.
Bitch, you're a pet. Shut up. Are we pets?
Not really pets, more kind of, you know how some people like to keep, like, snakes and
Like pets.
poisonous...
No, who would do that?
You know, it's kind of,
Like exotics? Like someone who has some fucking big bird?
sometimes a little bit, maybe. But it's a lot more about keeping you from becoming dangerous enough to destroy.
You got a mouth like a big bird, George.
Squawk. Oh, okay. I'm just trying to get clarity on it all. It's like this is a lot, you know.
Right. No, so essentially, if you're not careful, you'll be dangerous enough that you need to be destroyed. If you can't keep a handle on it, if you can't, if you can't control it.
Right.
Oh, so like if they weren't around to rein us in, like my jaw could just open up and suck in the world or something.
Probably not the world.
They just don't want you eating the whole school, George. You know.
I don't want to do that
But
either. No, yeah, that makes sense.
I'd say maybe like a city, a couple of cities maybe, at worst.
Can you just say? That's sick. So, okay, I'm so sorry if I'm taking up your time. I just have a lot of questions
It's all
built
right.
up over.
I've been engaged for the night, so I'm basically here to answer any questions or, you know, make sure you don't die, basically.
When she says that we become a danger if we lose control, Will's like looking at the table, looking at her, like, that doesn't look good. And he's trying, like,
Dude, Will losing
is
control.
the top of the table like scorched black, or is it like...
It's I'd say scarred black, not really scorched. It's not
Yeah.
like, you know, out of control.
Will is trying to brush off the ashes and the soot. See if he can, like...
Trying to clean the table. Oh,
I didn't mean
God.
to do that. I didn't mean to do that.
So, like, you say the debt somehow keeps at least Will and I safe.
Right.
No longer Cecilia or Tori, though.
I mean, but like safe is entirely relative, right? If all kinds
Right,
of
no, that's my next question.
If all kinds
is
of
like,
dangerous stuff is getting pulled in here, all you're safe from is Ashford might look out for you.
all I'm saying, was my next question. Like, what are they in danger from that we are suddenly not? Is it Ashford?
And she points over at Will. Your man there. You've seen the chain, right?
Yeah.
It's
Ashford.
it's a bit difficult to see, but if you concentrate properly, probably be kind of around your waist, maybe on a wrist or something like that.
Oh wait, I thought you meant the chain that Ashford did in the forest, in the bringing everyone to all the Alps that were sleeping.
Well, I'm sure that Will initially thought that. So yeah. So.
She's gonna look at Will like, chains, bro. You into some kinky shit?
What chain?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Maybe if you look over yourself with that eye there, and concentrate right proper, trying to see anything.
Yeah, Will's just stares intently, very much not manifesting a fucking fire.
Yes.
Because he is
You're not
now
trying to set yourself
terrified
on
of
fire.
doing
yeah.
that accidentally.
Roll me an investigate.
Okay.
Supernatural tracking, strong vision, insight, and appraisal all work there. I'd say
Nice.
high motivation works.
Ooh. I
And
could roll another one.
high focus works as well.
That's 6-4.
So 6. Let's
Awkward.
see if in this instance, on everything awkward works. There's nothing for you to really mess up. I would say maybe prioritize is actually a weakness that would come into play.
Oh yeah, that's
Just
that's
purely
fair.
because you're prioritizing not setting fire to yourself,
Yeah.
and you're a little bit scared of what like if you aren't
Would
concentrating.
guarded also work as that,
I'd
or is that kind of a double? Double
No,
jeopardy for the same
I'd
thing?
say guarded would work there too. Yeah. Okay. So
Do I add both, or do they kind of overlap?
I'd say yeah, add both. So 6 and 2 equals 4.
Investigate, right?
Yes, please.
Hey,
there we go.
Great success. 5
Great
and a 4.
success.
Great success. La, la, la.
Great success. Excellent.
So, as you're looking, you see like this little kind of silvery flash, and you kind of like focus your mind, and more importantly, you focus your eye, and it starts to. It's essentially the focus becomes on that silvery flash as you look over yourself. It appears kind of like along your wrist. And as you focus on the silvery flash, it slowly comes into being, where there's this very thin, very small chain wrapped around your wrist, and that slowly disappears off into the dark.
I love the idea of it being like a polarizing filter. When you turn it, like you see if you have a polarizing filter on a camera and you look
Yeah.
at a like a car window, and it just
Yeah.
the reflection disappears, but instead here it manifests. You just go, oh, and Will just holds up his hand and looks at the chain, kind of shakes his hand a little bit.
And when you look up in this sense, you can also see one wrapped around the waist of George,
And then he points to the chain and
and
goes,
it trails off into nothingness as well.
chain,
But I can't see it or feel it.
chain.
You can't see it or feel
So,
it.
so it's around George's waist, but it's around my wrist or my waist as well.
Around your wrist, yeah.
Oh, okay. So he just holds up his hand and goes, chain.
And as you,
It doesn't make any noise though. even
no,
though I can
it
see
doesn't make any noise. As you move it, it doesn't tug or anything. It doesn't feel
Okay,
like
so-
it's
so-
there.
Will hold it up and go like,
Yeah, your hand just goes straight through it.
oh, okay.
And we just see Will like miming this, all
Yeah.
holding nothing. Like,
You okay there,
Okay,
buddy?
he's
Having
lost it.
2 words.
Abe-
First word sounds like 2 syllables. No, but he. Yay.
is he?
And
Will,
does it-
buddy, you doing all right over there?
Is it going into his wrist, or is it like a shackle thing that's around his
It's-
wrist?
It's kind of like just yeah. It's like you have a bracelet basically.
Oh, okay. And there's no like opening on the bracelet you can see.
No.
Okay. And Will says to George, "There's one around your waist."
What? A chain?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I'd feel so much safer chained up to Ashford. Sounds, well, for
Oh,
lack of
you
a
don't
better
even-
phrase.
And there's no chain around Tori. Okay. And Will looks at Tori and says, "You don't have a chain."
Good.
For you? I don't want a chain.
Is it from his like that thing you were saying was on his back, like thing?
No.
Oh,
Will.
Dude,
will
tell
ask-
her about that
What's her
thing.
name? The Irish lady?
Bella.
Isabella Bella.
Oh, Isabel. Will. Sorry, I keep forgetting it. And Will just goes, "What do you know about the burden? Ashford's skeleton thing?"
Oh, Yeah. I was there when he got it.
You knew him before the thing?
Oh, did I not say anything? Oh, sorry. My name is Isabella Cole. I went to university. I was part of the supernatural investigative team. With Ruben and Bertrand. Actually, that's why I'm here right now. Ruben called me in. He needs a hand with something in a mine.
We're the paranormal investigations group. We're pigs.
Well,
There's something like really bad in the mines, apparently.
I heard.
And he asked you to go?
Oh yeah, it's some type of bull or something like that, like an ox demon maybe. I'm not really sure.
Like a minotaur?
Something like that.
You seem like kind of a badass comparatively.
Well, I got...
maybe you should hitch your chain to her.
I don't. I mean, I don't really have any chains. That's not what I got lumbered with.
So you don't have like a team of high school students imbued with powers?
No, I'm not really into the whole saving people and helping people kind of thing like Ruben is. That's not really my...
There's a nod from Tori like, oh, yeah.
You know, it's all very well, but some of us can move past our histories, you know? I'm kind of a bit more for hire. You know, exorcist, that type of thing. Getting rid of things that are bugging people, you know. Bit of an exterminator, maybe. That's why I messed with Yagal back there, the god.
Oh shit, is she still back there with her head stuck to the ground?
Oh yeah, she'll be fine. I'll go back and make her skip town in a minute.
I was gonna say, like, who weighs hearts now? Is there a lineup?
I love that response. Oh yeah, she'll be fine. It
Just completely stuck a god to the floor.
Well,
It's whatevsies.
what you got to understand here now is she's not really a god. She's a manifestation of the idea of a god.
Are there gods?
I don't know, maybe. It could be. But,
I mean, we could be gods.
There's a possibility that your whatever is inside you, a part of you now, is a manifestation of a god. You know, could be Anubis, could be Thor, could be Zeus, any of them really. Even you know, any of them really. Any sort of mythology or human ideas, really. It's possible for them to manifest, for them to come into being.
So what you're saying is, if enough dumbass people buy into something, it just is like a hippo lion lizard.
Amit, very decently known as a mythological creature that existed. Therefore, when enough energy, when enough collective human thought comes together, can manifest things like that. Or, for example, the desire to control people, the desire to consume, to eat, to...
Puke.
I mean, we did try the whole thing where I made sure that you couldn't eat anybody you didn't want to eat. Remember? Didn't work out great. I spent a night in your bed.
Oh shit. I mentioned the eye. She didn't seem phased.
I mean,
that's horrifying.
Depending on what's inside you, you know, it's possible to communicate. Some of them are external as well, like I believe your man there, Will. You saw Ruben's little hanger-on, didn't you?
Burden? Yes, I saw it.
So, you know, some of them have a mind of their own.
Cheerful chappy.
No, and a very difficult customer to deal with.
The burden.
It looks like he's got a skeleton sitting on, was it his shoulder or his head?
kind of like just it's partially like arm,
like crouched over his
skeletal arm
shoulders,
wrapped
right?
around
I know the
his-
arm was around his neck, but
it's just like kind of there, like on his back and over his shoulder.
yeah. So Will says, yeah, no, it looks like a skeleton on his back with his arms around Ashford's neck. Not really, and doesn't like being looked at apparently. So I had to. It was a quick glance.
Well, you can look at it if you like, if you don't mind, you know.
It looking back. No, thank you.
It's best not to notice it unless you're able to deal with it.
Can I ask kind of a personal question? Like, what's your like special, and like the Bertrand special, and like the other special?
Oh, sure. So I can't give you everything, you know.
No, just like
obviously,
brief rundowns. I'm just curious. You tanked that thing in the head, and now you control a god.
And she looks around and she's like, oh, there we go. She picks up a rock and holds it, throws it up in the air, throws it to you, and you catch it, and it's, you know, oh, okay.
Rock.
Throw it back. She grabs it, spins it around in her hand for a second, throws it back to you, and it just goes.
It's super fucking heavy.
It feels like it weighs a ton, like a car or like a.
Probably sends me flying back a few feet
Yeah.
than if I actually tried to catch it.
Yeah, like an anvil or something like that.
Yeah. Ah! Oh!
And she I imagine you're kind of like on the ground with your hand like trapped under it now, just kind of like she walks over, puts her hand on it and picks it up.
Oh, ow. Oh.
Sorry about that. Maybe a little bit too heavy. And then she reaches over and like drops it in, offers to drop it in your hand again. Don't worry, it's not heavy anymore. Go on.
She put out her other hand.
Yeah, put out her other hand, and she drops it into your hand, and you feel the sensation of it touching you. You can't feel any weight.
Oh, like a
Psych, now
feather.
both your fingers are broken.
No! So you like control fucking physical mass?
I believe it's called pycnokinesis, but essentially it's changing the density of things. Density mass. I'm not really sure on the technical terms, but
I know a few people you could make a little less dense. Ew, that's incredible. And she's gonna like look at Tori and try to and toss the rock at Tori, even though it's dumb light and I can't feel it. Does it still have a physical presence to toss?
Oh, yeah,
Or
yeah,
is it like
So-
throwing a feather?
so you throw it. It is like it's a feather, but it
Tori does not catch the rock.
No.
She
She
steps
goes
back
past.
and she steps back and lets the rock fall to the ground.
So
yes.
the rock kind of like floats up in the air a bit like a feather, and it's like slowly like floating over towards you, and then suddenly just goes and like embeds in the floor and like goes about that deep into the ground.
Oh, you're a cannon.
And she reaches like round behind her back and pulls out this kind of like thick metal kind of billy club looking thing. Says, hey, you know, that's part of the work. It makes it a lot easier. I would have brought my hammer, but
Oh, that's it. So do you have like a god thing in you that does that? Or were you like born this way?
no.
Yeah. Question.
It's
Oh, sorry. Keep going. I have a question when you're done.
it's you know, same as the rest of you. I looked into some paranormal stuff. You know, poking around where I shouldn't. Got saddled with this little boy, and ever since I've been learning how to use it and utilizing it to make my way in the world, I guess.
And how long has that been?
It's about 10, 12 years now.
Damn. And that's same with Bertrand and Ashford and Mr. What's up with that? And Mr. Knight. What's up with Mr. Knight?
Oh, Morgan is, he's not really like the rest of us.
You don't say. That teacher attacked me,
Oh,
I think.
I imagine he would have, yeah.
Really?
To be fair, I mean, George, horrible monster. I can see how you make that mistake.
All I'm saying is I've done a little bit of work for him and his group, and you know, they have a very more definitive idea of dealing with things. It's not even really exorcism; it's more destruction, eradication, you know, that type of thing.
Okay, but he has one of our friends like in his hold. Is that bad? Should we worry?
Oh no, she should be fine.
She seemed to be getting along pretty well. I don't think we should worry about her. In fact, I think you should be more worried that she's learning what he did to you from him.
I mean, it didn't do shit to me, so that's fine.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I don't know what the fuck the point was, but he definitely hit me with a ball of blue fire.
Does Will see anything on her, like a passenger?
Really?
Nothing?
No.
How about an aura? Because he can see those too now, apparently. She doesn't look special at all. She looks bread and not milk, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird. What about the rock?
The rock is a rock.
Weird. Sick.
So
thank you for talking to me. I'm sorry, that was a lot.
No. You ask a question, and as I said, I've been engaged for the night, so perfectly happy to talk to you. Seeing as you're not in any immediate danger. So you have you know about the burden, which is what Reuben got dished with. Then Morgan is kind of a separate whole thing. He's got his own organization. Well, it's not his, but you know, they go around, they eradicate, they destroy, they try and get rid of, but you know, it's got a whole other complicated setup there, which we probably don't want to get into tonight. And then you've got and then you got Bertrand's Believer.
Yeah, my power didn't work on him.
Oh, I
The
wouldn't
Believer.
expect it would.
Will. Believer. Why do I know that word? Who said that? Did Ashford say something about a believer? Shit. Bertrand's the believer?
Well, he's not the believer, as in he isn't the manifestation, but yeah, the thing he got lumbered with there is the believer.
I feel like we were warned of the believer.
It's a pretty rough one. It's not the best.
Rougher than...
It's a hard one to deal with.
Good luck, Tori.
Yeah, I don't have to deal with it.
Alright, well, any more questions? As it sounds like you haven't really been inducted into this world very well so far.
We've been told shit.
I mean, we've basically been sent on monster hunts.
I think most of us figured out what we can do by panicking. Or straight up
Testing.
panic.
The situation here looks pretty bad.
Yeah. Did we mention the demons in the sky that eat people's sleep and we put them in mirrors? I have one if you'd like it.
Oh, you ran into a couple of Alps there.
Yep.
They're not that bad. They're pretty easy to deal with.
Yeah, Will had a lemon party with them. I think my brain's just dead now. This is a lot.
I mean, it's late.
Asked me if I had a bag of 50 lemons. Who has 50 lemons?
You did.
No, I didn't. He had to go buy them.
But then you had 50 lemons.
Yeah,
So
because
then,
he bought
therefore,
them.
someone has them.
Well,
Are we good? The whole God thing's gonna be dealt with. Everybody's
Oh,
safe.
Sure, I'll
The
send...
hospital's gonna be safe.
The only reason why you wandered into Amit's territory is because of what's inside of you now. So you just have to be careful walking into other people's territories. Like, sometimes you'll find yourself in places you don't really want to be.
By the way,
Mostly just
you-
mean regular people aren't gonna get their hearts ripped out, right?
Yeah, are you going to be able to get rid of Amit? Because if Amit sticks around, that doesn't solve the problem we had.
That's alright. I've been hired to deal with her, so I'll have a word and she'll move on somewhere else. Hopefully back to where she came from, but you know.
So she really was stealing hearts out of people before they died.
See now,
Like, Early evacuation.
a lot of these things, they have a job to do, is how they kind of see it. They have a nature to them, based upon what people think of them. Amit, the god, is supposed to judge people by their hearts. So this manifestation, this thing that exists now, has to judge people by their hearts. It's like having to eat, it's like having to breathe for us.
How come none of us feel some crazy compulsion to take over a hospital and eat people? Are they just old? Do you just like lose your mind? Are we all gonna lose our minds at one point?
Because you see now, she isn't like that. She's an entity, a supernatural entity. She's not really something created, exactly something formed.
She's all milk, no bread.
The milk, yeah.
Think
Okay.
think of it kind of like okay, milk and bread, sure. Think about it like a glass. When you pour milk into a glass, it fills the container. So the milk fills the container. It takes the form of the thing that it's shaped to be.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it's like. Whereas for...
So this isn't one of those half full, half empty things.
No. I would say, like, if we're comparing it now, it's kind of like, for you, you're almost like a half full glass of water that's had milk poured into it.
Oh.
So that's the difference there, is like, that's something that has been formed. You are something that has been mixed, or we are something that's been mixed.
Oh, no, that makes sense. In the weirdest, I'm almost more concerned with myself that makes sense, but it does.
It's takes a lot of getting used to, not going to lie.
Yeah.
You're lucky, we're a bit younger than you now. Well, no, we're around about the same age, maybe a bit younger.
Did y'all get your shit at the same time? Like a party?
We were investigating a similar situation to this, except for we had never experienced anything supernatural before. So we wandered into a situation where there was a town that was being kind of like a gravity well, drawing in supernatural things. A lot.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, we heard some reports of strange supernatural going on, you know, ghosts and werewolves and vampires and all that kind of, yeah, even aliens, all that kind of thing. We went in to investigate, and well, we got there just as it was reaching the peak, let's call it.
What was the name of the town? Is the town still there?
Or
was it collateral damage?
I think a few people survived it, yeah.
Okay.
Yo, maybe we could find those people and like talk to them, figure it out. Like how to not repeat that.
What was the name of the town?
Or we could just move away.
I can't really
Some of
remember
us
the name
can.
of the town. It's kind
George,
of...
you can eat literally anything. You can move away. It's fine.
Actually, you're right.
Essentially, the town itself was kind of erased from existence, or... So, like, the town had a name, but I don't know what the name of the town is anymore. Because technically speaking, it never existed.
That's the problem I have, Tori. That if the town doesn't exist anymore, that's not good. And if it had existed and we'd know it, like, oh yeah, that's where all the shit went down about, what, 12, 13 years ago, that wouldn't be good either.
Yeah.
Huh.
But
So
I'm
does that
not-
mean one of you can fuck with time?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. My brain's dead. That's
I'm a little worried about the escalation of, oops, we have to save everyone that seems to be coming towards us here.
Oh no,
I don't
you're
think
doing. I wouldn't worry too much about your town exploding or everyone disappearing or anything like that. As far as I can tell, Ruben seems to have things mostly under control.
Great.
Mostly. Just gonna feel around her waist for the chain that's not there, but is.
There's a difference between destroying and banishing, getting rid of, capturing, laying to rest, all that type of thing.
So do you guys need a ride home or?
Oh
Yeah.
no, I'm grand, thank you. I've got to go deal with the guard in the hospital.
Yeah, I wasn't talking to you. But that's fine.
Does anyone need a ride home? I'm not offering you a ride fucking home.
So you'll let Ashford. I mean, I'm assuming Ashford sent you, and that's why you're here.
Right.
So you'll let him know.
He got a little
Why
bit.
did he
pissed
send
that we
you?
didn't do
He
that.
sent me as well.
He got a little bit worried for the job for tonight.
Yeah, good.
Get on set.
Wonder why.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm ready.
nice to meet you and discuss some things.
Oh, for
Thank
sure.
you. This was enlightening.
And enjoy your god combat. Or whatever it is you're about to.
We're just
get
going
into.
to have a little bit of a talk. And hey, if any of you need my help, I'm pretty cheap. Reasonable, I'd say.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Have a good night. And she turns and click-clacks off.
It travels.
Click clacks off.
I mean,
She's wearing huge
wearing,
platform boots.
huge
Oh yeah, I
platform
forgot
boots,
about the
Yeah, like
the
70s
massive
platforms.
They're
massive
like
platform.
full on chunky platform. It's not like
clump. Who
Yeah.
is that clumping on my?
The image
rib?
of that in the woods is fabulous.
It's an Irish magician.
oh, so
I'll probably watch her disappear into the dark and then turn towards the other two. That happened, right?
Mhm.
Just now.
Yeah, it happened. And some of it was useful, but I don't know that I would call it a constructive discussion.
And
Yeah, I don't know if I
down
feel
at the
better.
table, that's still scorched. I'm like,
Yes,
I mean, that's
you burned
good.
the table, Will.
It's good.
I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, and we
Learn how to
didn't,
control that shit.
and we didn't know that George could unhinge her jaw and swallow a bus whole, but here we are, and that
That
I
is-
could implant suggestions in people.
Dude, you know what I was thinking? You could, that they were the woof, the fuck making me bark was hilarious. Ha 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 ha. But you
It
could,
was.
teach children that the color green is purple.
You should get a job at Blockbusters, and then you could just tell everyone when this movie is finished and you return it, you should rent another one.
And always rewind. Oh my god.
Oh, you could be the hero of Be Kind Rewind.
Listen, I think there are
You're the hero we need.
There are slightly more interesting things I can do with it. I'm already planning how I'm gonna get that $25,000.
I mean, for
know
real.
how I'm gonna get it.
I'm thinking,
Want me to get an extra
I can eat a
$25,000
bus.
for you, George?
What? An
You
extra
know,
25. What?
If we just add it on there, if we're
I
gonna
don't
rob a
want
bank,
that.
I might as well rob the bank all the way.
I mean, true.
I think they're different charges, actually, depending on the amount.
What the fuck?
Nobody will even know I'm involved. I'm just going to tell other people to do it and then leave the money somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you could do anything. You could just call a debit card. You don't even have to do the robbery. Like, call the bank and be like, all the money belongs in my debit account. And it will.
But you don't want to link it to yourself quite like that directly,
Yeah, no,
right?
you're right.
Hello,
My plan was take out a whole bunch of extra money, bring it somewhere, and then tell the security guard to like wipe all the tapes or whatever.
Hello, is this Bank of America? I would like to open a new account. My name is none of your goddamn business. Please deposit 500 million in this account and forget you ever did it. Thank you.
I don't know if it works over the phone.
Do it in person then.
Oh. You even tested that over the... Dude.
Actually, that's a good point. You do know that
Test
you
that shit over
only
the
need the
phone.
voice, though. You don't need them to like look you in the eyes. Because otherwise the bartender wouldn't
This
have been
conversation
effective.
happening while we're walking back towards
Yeah.
Tori's
Yeah.
car. Yeah.
Okay.
I almost wonder if, like, at a certain point, do you even need to say it out loud, or can you just, like, look at people and be like, bitch, you're itchy, and they itchy?
I mean,
Oh
people
my
do
god.
tend to get my meaning one way or the other.
That is the worst fucking thing you could do. You have an itch, and whenever you
Existentially,
scratch it, it moves.
I'm just saying. It's what, I mean, I wonder if, like, the teachers knew this shit was coming and they're pissed about who got these powers. Because, like, I mean this in the best possible way. You ain't exactly an easy horse to rein.
Tori takes it as a compliment that it is meant like, yeah, I don't want people telling me what the fuck to do.
And now
That's
they
what I want.
literally can't.
Well, I mean, they can, but then I can tell them what to do and they have to do it.
Word, I'm saying white gas on a fire. And then we got Will over here, the silent lizard eye, who can existentially combust anything.
Will is kind of
As
like
he's
used to the
still
fact that it's
Petting his table.
Yeah. Will is kind of used to the fact that it's manifested now, so he just goes, oh.
Right,
He
who
still
am I
tries to
ta-
Tries
wipe
get
it
rid of
away.
Who am I taking home first?
Oh, where are we? We're at the
hospital, right?
hospital. That's probably closer to Will's, I would assume. So probably me and then.
Looking on
Which
the
hospital?
map.
Is it the one in the...
If it's the Whitlock one, it's this
Oh,
one
yeah,
right here.
Yeah,
So yeah,
probably
you
me
guys are
first
on
then.
opposite ends of town, so probably Will first and then
Yeah.
George. All right.
Is it
That's the
late at night?
plan.
It's pretty
I mean,
late at night.
It's
Okay.
pretty late. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
probably around 1 a.m.
Sick.
All right. I take Will home first.
Take Will home. Will gets dropped off.
At 1 a.m. in front of his like insane parents' house.
I was going to say, he'd probably make us, like, stop down the road, I imagine.
Oh yeah. No
Like,
fucking
not in front of
noises
his
anywhere
house?
near the Robinson. No,
I don't-
He's sneaky.
I don't know. My mom's never home, so that'd just be a drive up and a
Yeah,
drop.
we just go back up to George's and
Yeah.
drop her off, and then I'm back home to my place.
Yeah. And I'd probably, like, you know, open the car door, get out, lean in, look at her like I was going to say thank you. Woof. Slam the car door and walk up my steps.
And she calls out after you. She's like, "Hey, George!"
No! And you probably
Hey,
cover her ears and start
George!
jogging and start running up the stairs. No!
And then she just peels out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you give her the fucking, you flip her the bird and say woof, and then it's like, could be worse. Could be every time someone says your name, you uncontrollably laugh, or
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
like-
The
Tori-
cool
Tori's
stretch
going
turns into a
to-
panic run in the house.
I love the idea of Tori doing experimentation. Like, can I convince someone to do something over Morse code?
Dude, I'm saying, like,
Fucking
pagers exist.
Blinker light.
I'll just try and convince George to do something by looking at them. Just
Verbal communication is not necessary.
yeah, just with
Or,
enough.
like, what if you
enough
wrote a
emphasis.
note?
Wrote a note.
Like, how far can this go once you're, like, at the peak, you know? Because it's technically your intentions there. You wrote it. We wrote notes.
I don't know.
No, it seems limitless, honestly.
Everybody heads back to their homes, Sheepy.
Tori has a very content drive home alone, probably basking in the
Very
silence.
self-satisfied in the amount of fucking zingers I got on everybody during that.
Dude, that was amazing.
I just wanted to showcase the slight antagonism with George. You know what I mean? Just like make fun of George a whole bunch.
Well, it's fantastically perfect.
So, everyone heads back.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone heads to sleep. And we're going to roll back a little bit, baby. To as Cecilia and Mr. Knight head off by themselves. Mr. Knight, kind of walking, looks at Cecilia and says,
It's like awfully quiet. Since they started walking away from the others, she's like just holding her backpack and just awfully quiet. Also, still in like hospital gear.
yeah. And he says, you doing okay?
Oh, yeah, we have a job to do, and we have to do what's necessary for that. What was that in there?
It was a poor imitation of a god.
What? Poor? It didn't seem so poor to me.
Well, the power is there, but the legitimacy is not. It's not real.
So did you know that was like in the hospital?
I wasn't aware, no.
Oh.
But when I met Miss Cole, I thought I could send you a little bit of assistance.
Yeah, that the lady who came to help us, yeah.
I thought it would be a little less jarring and confrontational instead of myself coming in to retrieve you. Unfortunately, I was on the way to extract you from the company of Mr. Ashford anyway. The need for intelligence gathering is pretty much over at this point.
How come?
At this juncture, your skills and talent will be much more useful with me in getting rid of the supernatural plague in this town.
Oh, yeah, sure, great, yeah, will you go and take care of what was back there, or were like the Miss Cole
Miss
do that?
Cole will deal with that.
How do you know each other? Or if it's like none of my business item. Sorry, I asked.
No. It's always good to ask questions. That's how we learn. Miss Cole is what you could call a mercenary. She's helped us with jobs in the past when we need a little extra muscle.
Yeah.
However, I suspect as time goes on and you learn more from me, the need for things like that will become less and less. You're making incredible strides and progress, Cecilia.
Yeah.
Your barrier was especially good.
Oh. Yeah, that. the thing, it kind of broke through pretty easily though, but
A little more practice, especially with manifesting the flame.
yeah,
But
I,
nevertheless, very impressive.
Tori with her whole like commanding voice thing, when she said like I don't know, just stop holding back or something like that, it was almost afraid that that the same would happen. But I'm glad it didn't. Yeah, but it's fine. As if I keep learning from you, I don't have to use that.
Absolutely not. And your friend, the Tori, Victoria, she's able to command people.
Yeah, that's kind of her whole thing.
How dangerous!
She can tell people what to do, and it's yeah, off-putting. But it's fine. I'm sure she doesn't have any evil will in her, and like
I'm sure she doesn't. And besides, she's under the protection of Mr. Ashford, so it is a moot point anyway.
Is she? I thought I thought that because she wasn't with Ashford anymore.
Oh, is she not?
Well, no, she's like with them. But what was it? It's like like some guy that gives cards and
Mr. Gray.
yeah.
All right.
She didn't want to work with Ashford anymore, which I totally get, but
It's very tiresome.
yeah. But she decided to get her loan with someone else. Which is pretty fucked up that they would ask like money from
Cecilia,
kids.
language, please.
What they ask like millions of dollars from them, and it's kind of crazy. Like who would do that? Like just ask millions of dollars from a kid for saving their life.
Clearly someone who is a little bit unhinged and out of connection with reality. I did tell you these type of things can happen if you delve too deeply, if you embrace the supernatural too much. These type of things can happen.
Yeah. You did. Yeah. I guess we've never gotten that close to one before. Like the ones we had to deal with were like, oh, okay, I guess like they were easily contained, and it's just like it's good to have a reminder that it's not all like that, and that there's those running around as well. And those, and she like points back to the like where they came from, like
Yeah. Well, I think for tonight we can probably call it a night there. You can head home and get some well-earned rest. But tomorrow, now that there's no need to keep up the charade of going to see Mr. Ashford, why don't after class you come visit me and I'll teach you the incantation of degradation. This will allow you to make things crumble and weaken. It allows you to either get away or to destroy. supernatural entities.
Oh, yeah, I would very much like that. I think it'll be very helpful. Thank you, Mr. Knight.
And in the evening, I have heard word of a reasonably dangerous creature residing in the bank. We can go and investigate that and see if we can get rid of it for people.
I'm very sure that we can.
Okay. Good night, Cecilia. I'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, Mr. Knight. See you tomorrow in class. After class.
And he separates part ways with you, and you head off towards home, and he heads off presumably towards home. And the night, no pun intended there, not Mr. Knight. The night gets darker, everyone gets home, falls asleep, and it's a new dawn, it's a new day, everyone. Wake it up. Oh wait, sorry, I should do that like this, shouldn't I? There we go. So, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, everyone. Time to go to school. So,
Don't we
Back
get a
in the
fucking
hallowed
exemption by
halls.
now?
can I assume that everyone's having their fairly normal morning routine and everything?
Uh-huh.
Anything outstanding, anything like chats with families or anything like that needs to happen?
Unless my brother's home now.
The weekend, so a few
Oh,
more
right.
few more days.
Then no.
Want to see his brother.
Actually,
I
Sheepy,
don't.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm skipping today.
Skipping
I'm
to
not gonna go.
All right.
Has Tori ever done that? Is this like
No,
totally out of character?
It's not a usual thing.
And
Okay.
when I just said that there is not an evil bone in Tori, probably she decides to
She
skip.
skips. That's like the most evil thing you can do, Cecilia.
Gasp.
It's that Ashford.
It's so shocking George's jaw hits the floor.
Gonk! God damn it!
Could you imagine George gets a love interest and then accidentally that happens when they kiss?
Oh, it happens when I get flustered.
Oh, you're so sweet.
So
I
many
could
things
eat
could
you
go
up.
wrong.
No.
I imagine George now lives in fear for the first time she will ever kiss someone.
100%.
But
Yeah.
apologies, Tori, you had you're skipping school?
Yeah, I'm gonna go and try and sort out this money situation.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait around for Bertrand to figure it out, but whatever.
All right. In that case,
I love that Tori's impatience morphs into wild independence.
Yeah. In that case, I think as Tori goes off, is Tori just kind of like hanging around at home, or does she leave as if she's going to school?
She leaves as if she's going to school, but then
Just doesn't. Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, I would say the first thing that probably happens is, well, not with Tori. We'll rejoin Tori in a little bit. As George and Will meet up at school and walk in towards the kind of, hang out at the front of school, or, go into the halls and etc. Joel kind of like a little bit bouncy, a little bit, more animated than usual. Like bounces in and joins you and is like, "Hey George," and then kind of like semi-lightly taps Will on the shoulder with a punch and is like, "Hey Will,"
Hello.
Sup?
and he looks at you. He looks at you, George. Like, yeah, is that better? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
What?
Not awkward at all.
You doing all right, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, dude. What's up?
Your face is doing weird stuff.
And then he grabs your arm and like pulls you over a little bit. He's like, I'm trying to be nice to Will.
Oh.
Will's just looking at them like 4 feet away.
Yeah, he's
you
like,
you can probably even slightly hear them a little bit.
oh, 100%.
It's like,
Yeah.
like you said I have to be a bit like, nicer, and so I'm being nicer.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're great, bud. No, you got it. It's cool. I forgot that yeah. And she'll like look at Will and be like,
Dude, I didn't even get high this morning, so I'd remember.
oh my, you know what? That explains a lot.
What?
Right on. No, it's cool, bud. Totally cool, bud.
Okay.
Do you want to hit the bleachers before class starts?
Totally.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
Just kind of like look around and just walk into Will, shoving him with them, you know?
For a second, I want to say that me turning up as sober Joel, I immediately saw chat go, "That's not Joel." I was like, wow, they fucking like, they're on point with the Joel knowledge apparently.
That's not Joel.
That's not my boy.
Something's wrong.
Sweet boy.
Sweet innocent child.
So yeah, you head to the bleachers, and I have a question. Because I feel like it would happen, I'd say probably before class officially starts, but close to class starting, when you're like heading towards class or something. What happens when you see Cecilia and Cecilia sees you?
I think for Cecilia, there's nothing different where if she sees one of them in the hallway, like just before classes or during classes, it's just like like passing by and just like a vibrant smile and like a wave, but that's it.
If she waves and I catch it, George would probably be like, and then keep walking with like a big fucking smile.
I was gonna say, contextually, she's joined the person who tried to kill you, so
yeah,
that's yeah. Okay, yeah. So
her face crumbles at that.
Will, how about you?
Yeah, no. It's just observing.
Like, could I paint a little bit here where like Cecilia's walking one way, you guys are walking the other, and Cecilia like kind of waves and smiles, and and George is like hey, and then the middle finger and the kind of screw face, and then as you like pass each other and Cecilia's face kind of like falls, like maybe Will like kind of looks back a little bit and just does a tiny like hello, like a little like baby wave.
Yeah, preferably like holds the hand where George doesn't see it.
Yeah, it's like on the other side of George where she can't see it. It's just like,
and not like a malicious thing at all. It just goes.
Yeah, just tried to keep it subtle. Okay.
I hate that George is an unknowingly bubbly of her own. Like she has no idea though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Will doesn't have any like. He's confused, but he doesn't like hate anything. He just goes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, you were passed out during the whole thing with Mr. Knight, so you don't have that.
You don't have that experience.
Oh, what the fuck?
Before we move on, can we visit something very quickly? Because I feel like it was a subtle thing where George was lying. When she said it wasn't anything, like it didn't hurt at all. The like flame. Like, was that just?
Oh
George,
yeah, she was
like,
totally playing big. Yeah. Oh yeah, it burned like it burned on the inside.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, there was no outer scar. There was nothing. She wasn't immobilized. She got knocked down, but it was like a fucking like something smoldering on the inside. Yeah. It didn't take her out, but it was bad.
I just wanted to highlight that because like I thought it was very well played and everything, but yeah.
She was trying to impress that hot, nice, badass lady.
For those of you in the cast, I've posted up a picture of the inspiration for her looks.
Ooh.
Very animu.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Oh, fuck yes. That is so how I picture.
Oh,
I'm so
yeah.
happy. That's so badass. Yes. Absolutely. Isabella Cole was her.
Yeah. But you can call her Bella. And as a fun little extra fact, I did search as to when Twilight was released, because if this was after Twilight was released, she wouldn't say "Call me Bella," but it was.
Yeah.
This is 95, and Twilight was like 2003. So
The name is safe.
Good call, man. I didn't read those. I would not have
At
known.
least it was post 9/11, at least.
Good God.
If you know what, for those of you watching later on the YouTube, or for those of you who are watching now, if you want, I have now posted up the art inspiration for Isabella Cole on in the QT in the Discord.
She's big time mommy issues. Huh.
Yeah.
Step on me any day.
So
She can make those bitches weigh a lot too.
yeah, that was something I was looking forward to. Is, you know, her walking,
She's
So badass.
her walking up and just like clock, and then
Head slam.
yeah.
And didn't the creature have like the reason I laughed when that happened, even though it was like kind of serious, was the
Yeah.
way I pictured it, because the creature has like an alligator face, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that flat under face, like, so the whole snout is
Oh, yeah,
along under the belly, like on the
snout
ground.
probably, like
Yeah.
bent and crumpled up and everything.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I think it's like the croc in like Robin Hood or something.
Yeah, no, the mouth is just as long, but now it goes up and down at funny angles. That's how they did in Tom and Jerry, and that's
Oh, bless.
also
Sorry.
there is
I love the images.
suspiciously large frying pan close with the face of Amit in it, because that's also how that works.
So, the rest of the school day, unless anyone has anything specific they'd like to do, I feel like we'd probably highlight today, because it's been a little time, that most likely Cecilia will go to like her photography club and sign in, and you know, she'll go to her like art club, and you know, the clubs, some of which have some people in, some don't, some are just her.
Oh, the question is, if I don't have to say that right now, I won't. But the question still remains if she will join the swimming team.
Okay.
I am not
That's
there.
true.
I am not there to receive your reply.
But
however.
let's say that if you're not here, let's just say that it's not today, like one of the upcoming days. And
Yeah.
But you might be looking for her. I could see Cece looking for Tori. Like, I wouldn't see Cece being someone to wait for something like that to occur.
she would have definitely noticed that Tori is not there. Like
Yeah.
she would have noticed. Like she's fine, you know, like she's actually pretty okay with her not being there, in the sense of like not being able to socially hang with her. She's surprisingly okay with that, but she does take note of it.
Because it's very odd, right?
And maybe she even like mentions it to like the crew.
We
of-
wouldn't notice it, so that would be something that would actually shock, probably.
No, not you two.
What group?
The Tori's friend group.
Mm.
Oh my god, the bitches. Oh
the
my
gaggle.
god.
The
Give me the
greatest.
gaggle. Give me the gaggle.
But yeah,
Oh my god.
I want to see the role play scene between Sheepy playing a gaggle of high school girls and Cecilia trying to. I want to see it.
I've already pulled my notes for the group.
Good.
So there's the
they
girls.
would say lunchtime.
Yeah, lunchtime.
Where's their leader?
The girls are kind of in a group on sitting at a table, you know, just most of their food has been eaten, or just currently ignored, as they're all kind of like leaning forward and talking, you know, a bit of back and forth, and just kind of like, you know, they seem reasonably animated, but they're not like, you know, completely iron wall or anything like that. When Cecilia walks up,
Yeah, basically. I don't think she would stand there. I think she would approach and then just slide in at one of the empty sides,
Yeah.
like
There's
next to.
there's a little bit of space next to Nicole, who as you kind of come over and sit down, she kind of like looks at you for a second as everyone's talking, like slides over a bit, just makes a bit more space for you, and just turns back to the group and keeps talking.
Yeah.
And she's like, I know she's not here today. Like, I mean, it's not like
And
her.
she definitely did not provide any excuses to anyone.
Okay. I for a second there I was like, oh, what if Laura texted you? And then I was like, wait a second, text messages do not exist right now. Sheepy, calm your shit down.
You literally can't get in contact with me.
No.
You would totally have a pager though. You don't think so?
Say,
No,
that's
that's
totally a
true.
pager thing.
Like, I don't, at least speaking.
Because their family's wealthy.
Yeah. I'm not sure that teenagers in the 90s really had pagers. That,
My
like,
brothers did.
from my experience, that was mostly like businessmen and stuff, right?
Yeah. You couldn't
Um,
text on them then anyways. All anyone could do is like send a phone number for you to call, which
Yeah.
I mean, it would be useless regardless. Let's just say no.
No, she doesn't.
Fuck that shit.
Correct.
So, Cecilia, you going to try and break in?
Well, to be honest, I don't think I need to try and break in because it's the exact conversation topic I was hoping to achieve. So like,
Okay.
I can just like try to, as smoothly as possible, try to mingle in that conversation. And just like all of a sudden if they're talking about that, just be like, yeah, but she's never done that, right? Like
And-
it's not like Tori.
And a couple of the heads turn to you and look, and they're like, "Yeah, I know, right?" But then Laura says, like, I mean, she has just broken up with Aaron. Like, it's understandable if she wants to take a day off school or something like that. I don't think it's that big a deal.
You think she would let herself be pulled down like that?
I don't think she'd let herself be pulled down like that, but I think she may decide she needs a day just for her. Maybe she's gone into the city. Maybe she's having like a me day or like a her day.
Well, I mean, did you see her last night at like the basketball game? I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
if
she looked great.
yeah, if she had needed a day for herself, she would have probably already taken that, right? Like, it seems like every moment she could get, she wants to make sure that people don't forget that she doesn't need a day for this, that she doesn't let this mess with her.
I mean, people kind of know that already, right? And Nicole is like, oh my god. Like, I asked her to borrow that dress once, and she said no. Like, what?
There's like
They're so fucking vapid. I'm dead. I love it.
love them.
Sorry. They're so empty.
And Christy...
I think that thing is also like just that comment for Cecilia is also like, oh wow. It's like,
And Christine is on the other side of the table, kind of opposite you, and she's like, I don't know, maybe she's gone to, like, get drunk in town somewhere, or she's gone on a
I think she definitely does have a history of having, like, being like, fuck it, I'm gonna drink. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's probably some history
Oh,
of
yeah,
that party wise.
It's not like a bender,
Because
though.
it's cool. It's cool to drink when you're underage.
Yeah,
you know.
it's not like a bender thing. It's like in general, it's all of the girls go out, have some drinks, and be like, look how adult we are and how grown up and sophisticated. We're
so cool.
We're drinking beer from a glass.
Killing it.
So real, it made my asshole clench.
Not like
Yeah.
those those
Yeah.
dumb boys who shotgun beers. If I'm hurting anyone, I apologize.
The nostalgia is painful a little.
It is like I'm having flashbacks.
I know. I can smell the cheap beer. Piss.
I think like from that point on, we can just summarize that whenever like such a like shallow fucking comment is made, she like Cecilia like turns silent a moment because she's like okay, I guess. But like if at any point it comes up, she will definitely be the one defending Tori as being like a strong like fucking person. So just
she's not dealing with an Aaron situation.
Like she's not gonna be crying about it because like Cecilia has seen her act.
Aww.
And it's like that's like not.
And I will say
doing.
as a very little extra sprinkle in there
Sprinkle?
because just something that happens is at a little bit after you've sat down and you're chatting for a little while, on the other side of the table, Rodney comes in and sits down and kind of joins very subtly kind of joins the conversation, and you know he's kind of
whole vibe of the table changes. You add one guy to a table full of vapid ladies. Come on.
And as he's chatting, a couple of the other basketball players, you're not sure you know their names precisely, but they come and sit down and they join in. You know, a few other girls come in from other places. It kind of turns into this big conversation. You're in the mix and you're chatting as well, and kind of putting in that Tori Tori independent and things like that. A couple of people disagreeing with you and being like, no, I think etc. And then as I would
I will add to only that. First of all, Cecilia would have probably studied the names of the basketball team players because she's like, this is important to Rodney, so I'll learn the names. Besides that, if people would disagree when she's like defending Tori, I think the first time or something, there's definitely like unexpectedly a bit of like retaliation from Cecilia. Like just like being like steadfast in her like
standing her ground
opinion. Just like the first time, and then like maybe she catches herself and she like just doesn't do it again.
And like when you do kind of like stand your ground and you're like, no, I think maybe she's doing something else, something for herself, something like that, and you kind of catch yourself and you're like, oh, well, that's just a guess, really, kind of like back down very slightly. You feel like Aaron reach out and grab your hand under the table.
Rodney, please, not Aaron.
Sorry, not Aaron. You feel Rodney like reach out over like under the table and like grab your hand, give it a squeeze, and like he looks at you and like just gives you a little smile.
That shuts her up.
It was
like, oh, okay. Yeah, I know the way it was meant, but it shuts her up in a sense of like she wasn't expecting that, and she's like, oh.
She kind of forgets the conversation for a second.
She's like, all right, you encouraged that. I noted it.
And I think with that, the camera will pan back and fade on the cafeteria, and just kind of the the chatter is going on around the table and around the cafeteria, and there's just a little like bubble of silence between Rodney and Cecilia as the camera pans back and away. And we go to join Town Girl, out large and dangerous in town.
Yeah, we're gonna go solve our money problem. We need $25,000, right? Shouldn't be hard.
Okay. Where you going?
The bank.
Oh shit! Chat
Bank.
called it.
I had
Okay.
planned to do this before there was any mention of there being entities or what have you. So, no change in my plans.
That's fair. Tori does not know about there possibly being a thing in the bank, so it makes sense. All right. So what can I question? What is the plan with the bank?
So here's my game plan. I'm going to go and make a new bank account. I'm going to make an account. I am going to give fake details, but I am going to use power to force those fake details through. And then I am going to tell whoever's working at the bank to put $25,000 in the account, however they can do so. And then I will tell them to forget they ever did this and for them to, yeah, that's it. That's the plan.
Okay.
25,000 untraceable dollars.
So it's a school day and people are either at work or at school for the most part. So when you walk into the bank, there's there's a manager in like one of those like window pane offices. You can see right, like it's just a window and you can see in and type in away. And like a lot of the bank actually is like these big kind of glass walls almost. You know how banks be like. And you walk up to the queuing, it says like queue here, and you've got like a little a cord rope type thing that has a little sign and it says like queue here. You walk up to there. Of course, there's only one teller currently working, and there's no one talking to the teller. It still takes like a minute for the number to flash up, being like.
I think Tori is gonna go to the manager instead.
Oh, okay.
Like deviate a little and try and get like a meeting in an office.
Okay.
Knock on the door.
When you knock on the door, the manager, who's kind of in her 30s, pantsuit and everything, and she looks up and says, "Oh, come in."
Thanks. And then she goes into the office and closes the door behind her and says, "I'm hoping to talk to you about a new account, and it's kind of important."
Oh, Miss Whitlock, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Fuck.
Of course. Your parents, already have multiple accounts open here. Please, sit down.
So she takes a seat and she says, "I'm hoping to open an account with something more private."
Of course. For yourself?
How am I gonna do this? Let's see. Let's open an account with a different name under it. Something simple, Jane Smith, whatever. And she just like tries to manifest that. Just like
Jane Smith, of course. And starts picking up a set of files and stuff. Starts writing down. Anything else?
I need you to transfer $25,000 into the account.
$25,000, of course. From where?
wherever it will be least missed.
Least missed. Transfer $25. Right.
And I'd like that done immediately.
Done immediately, of course. If you'll just stay here, I'll go and see to that now. And she stands up and walks out of the room, and the door closes behind her. And as it does, the glass goes opaque, black.
Oh. Okay. Tori stands to like get a better vantage of the room.
You're in an office, chair on each side, a crappy, kind of office computer, a few files and stuff are up against the walls.
She goes to try and open the door.
The door opens. And you step...
Anything weird about the rest of the bank? Yeah.
Yes. It is dark. There's very minimal light. It's not, pitch black or anything like that. You can see well enough. But everything has like a dark blue tint to it. Even like your skin and all the makeup of the bank itself.
What the fuck now?
And as you step out, the manager walks back out of the kind of from back behind where she had gone to go do whatever she'd done, and she says, really was a bad idea to step into my territory.
Seems like I can't step more than 3 feet without stepping into someone's territory. Maybe I should make some of my own.
Wouldn't be a terrible idea.
All right, let's start with you.
Okay.
You gonna do what I say, or am I gonna have to make you?
What do you think? And she slowly starts to lower as you see underneath her feet ripples start to spread out as she like sinks into the floor.
As she's disappearing, Tori tries to, stop her from doing so with a commanding, definite stop. I assume nothing.
As you like say stop and you like reach your hand out, kind of in a commanding motion, the words like with the power infused like leave your mouth, and you see like a little smile appear on the bank manager's mouth, and she just raises her finger, and then just like the rest of her disappears.
So speaking into the void that is now the bank, Tori says, okay, so that didn't work. But I assume that there's something that you like, something that you want to keep safe. I assume you like this bank. I could have someone demolish the building tomorrow. I could have your people gouge their own eyes out if I really wanted to, right? I assume there's something you want. So let's talk rather than doing this whole bullshit that we're doing now. Right? Easy.
And a slightly echoey voice, just detached from anything, just kind of like drifts through the room, and it says, even if you are capable of all those things, how are you going to leave here? And we fade from that scene.
I mean, she's still got Bertrand's coin in her pocket. She's not worried.
Yeah. And we fade in to... Oh, apologies. That's the wrong one.
Oh, I thought we were done.
sitting at his desk.
The boy.
It's nighttime, and he is in his classroom sitting at his desk with his chin on his hands and staring out in front of himself with the lights, mostly off. There's a little glow from the hallway outside. It seems like he's thinking about something. And out in the hallway, we hear a click, 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 click as a figure walks into the room, and he sighs and he says, Bella. And she says, apologies. And she says, well, hi there, darling. And Mr. Ashford says, I trust that you managed to finish the job appropriately. Why, yes, indeed, I did.
Different voice.
He says, you know what?
Very different.
I hope you didn't tell any of them anything they didn't need to know. And there's a second or two pause. And she said, well, not really. And Mr. Ashford turns and says, I take it you met her then? And Isabella kind of like, her face falls a little bit. And she looks at him and she says, I did meet her. So, she's the one who killed our friend? And the camera fades. And we'll end there for today.
What the fuck?
That's where the screen was supposed to be. Ah, damn.
Hot damn.
Dude, just kudos to Sheepy talking to himself and the
damn.
glasses, though. That was dank.
Oh,
I don't know if I
geez.
could have done that.
Hilarious.
Splitting your brain between two different people, fuck you, dude. That's
It-
pretty
it is-
good.
it's a rough one. I was like, I'm not looking forward to this end scene. Like, how am I gonna do
Dude,
this?
that was fabulous.
Oh.
That was a really intense episode. I don't know
Yeah.
what to say.
No, that was.
I feel like there was so
Yeah.
much lore drop. I don't know what to say.
Good game.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh.
And roll credits.
So, quick round table and outros, and we'll be off. I have to make the. I want to be there for the final Alien recording. So,
Yes.
thoughts, feelings.
Yo, Night is so gaslighty.
Oh God, I apologize.
Dude, for
Yeah.
real.
I felt so fucking
So
creepy.
like he is so like what do you call it, like love bombing
Yeah.
Cecilia, like
I
so
feel like
bad.
Cecilia's smart, though. I feel like she's gonna see through that eventually if she's not already.
I mean,
I don't know.
the thing is like one of Cecilia's weaknesses is like, what's the word?
Getting recognition from authority, though.
Yeah.
Desperate for recognition.
Yeah.
Ugh. And it clouds you, yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
And he's giving just enough of that, like, you're doing a good job. You're growing. You're learning. You're getting, yeah. And it's just like, it's
Rewarding for good behavior.
It's that kind of confirmation and that kind of like praise that kind of clouds your judgment, and you're like, this is such a good person. Like they,
Oh.
Yes.
And once she realizes what's going on, this is the kind of thing that's gonna ruin her. Like, it'll make her like cynical, of people forever if she survives this.
Yeah.
I should say.
You got to meet Isabella, who is
Mommy.
Did we though?
Yeah, exactly. Did we though?
I don't know
Which one
about
did we
that,
meet?
Sheeps. I don't know about that anymore.
And if we met her, which one did we meet?
Mm-hmm. I
yeah.
don't know about that.
Well,
See,
okay, let's put...
I was suspicious immediately because her weapon wasn't a shillelagh. And then I was like, not actually Irish. Yeah, I see.
I had
point.
fun. I had fun quipping and just
Dude.
generally being like,
It
you
was
know what?
epic.
Fuck it, I'm gonna go to the bank.
When you said I'm going to go to the bank, I was like, oh boy, this is I was like, oh, it's fine. She's going to the cashier. Like, she can talk to cashier. She can make the cashier do. And you're like, I'm gonna speak to the manager. And I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, you underestimated Tori.
I did.
First lesson of the QT.
But
Well, and the other thing is like she's going in with that attitude of like, well, he won't get his money if he doesn't help me out of this situation that I'm doing to get his money. So
Oof.
yeah. Well,
you know, banking on some backup here, and then once I have it, then I can make good on my threats, right? Like that's the thing.
yeah.
And so, just for clarification, Cece and Mr. Knight were planning to go to the bank tomorrow, not this evening, right?
No, it was tomorrow.
Oh.
Shit.
Was it this?
I didn't remember. I looked through my notes when you said that. I was like,
I
oh
thought he
shit,
said-
you're right.
I thought he said like so that evening. I thought he said,
Oh,
tomorrow after
yes.
class you come, and then in the evening we go to the bank."
Yeah, sorry. That is so yeah, because the day passed, so it would be that evening. Yeah.
So there's still a chance that we get to walk in on Tori, and not gonna lie, that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah, she's fine. She's not terrifying. She's like, I'll make your employees gouge their eyes out. Like,
Yeah, Jesus, she's getting carried away a little
Dude.
bit. But like the power that she has is
you gotta
Plus,
threaten some people at some point.
it did not help that you all got a little bit of a lesson from Isabella, because Isabella doesn't have the same principles. She's like, yeah, I'll give a gun to a kid, whatever, fuck it.
Will be a valuable lesson. The so the other thing that I was like that I'm interested in is seeing what it's gonna look like when Tori is in like mortal danger and what manifests in that moment, right? Like, because I'm sure
Yes.
there's more.
Get ready to become a
There's
fish.
always more.
I had that actually
time,
written down like
baby.
two.
Magikarp, I choose you, and then Tori's
Yeah.
just like splash. Tori,
I had that written
Tori
down.
learned splash.
Shut up.
Aw.
Only if it comes out her mouth.
Water gun.
Water gun.
Super soaker.
Oh dear.
I had that written down a few episodes actually, like what's gonna happen if Tori loses her shit, because she's so calm and collected, which she probably gets from having a surgeon dad who, like, I mean,
Yep.
that's the most calm and collected you can ever be. That she never loses her shit, and like her powers giving her even more confidence. So I'm wondering, like, what will make her crack?
What happens when Tori throws a hissy fit? Yeah.
I
What
think
happens? But what would make you do that? Like,
Yeah.
what is the thing that sends Tori over? I still can't figure it out because I feel like I prod at you a lot,
I
and
think
none
it's
of
ve-
it.
I think it's
phases
very
you.
simple.
Verbal sparring is like
Yeah,
part of it,
that's-
though. Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
very simple. Tori's dad is a surgeon, which means he's good with knives. So, so Tori has learned to be quiet.
Ew,
Will manage to find out that he can actually
Fire.
set things
Yeah.
on fire with his eye.
I have an idea in my head of like John Constantine, but he doesn't need his fancy lighter. He just stares at the cigarette and it lights on fire.
Yeah.
I imagine things like burning from the inside out. I don't know why. That's how I pictured the table.
And George finally learned that she can actually swallow things that are, big.
You do a big
Yeah.
step.
Because, like, one of the issues George had been running into a little bit is like, there are zombies, but how the fuck do I eat a goddamn zombie?
You know, me and my spork.
It's like I have a knife and fork, and it's like slowly consuming the leg of a zombie, just being like, sooner or later I'll eat all of you. I've got this.
Me and my
Only time is stopping me.
I know. No, I was actually thinking about that. God, what did she say? Oh, when you were saying like she doesn't have the morals, of a teacher. And I was like, I could like eat a planet. She's like, not necessarily a planet, maybe a few towns. Not like, hey, maybe let's not consume large groups of people.
I love
Just like, here's an alternate suggestion.
I love the fact that the objection she had with that was not the idea of eating giant things, but rather the scale.
Just the scale.
Yep.
Yep.
But it
Like
was,
that's not manageable.
it was just a comment on your limitations. It's like you can't eat a planet. That's a bit too much.
Yeah.
Like a couple of towns, yeah, sure. Which is
Great, because any other
itself.
adult would not say that to a kid.
No, no.
He's like, why do I want to eat a planet, crazy person? No question. I wonder if she could change the weight of the planet. Okay, anyways, I'm sorry. We should probably do shout outs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although I will say before we do shout outs quickly, one of my favorite like powers or abilities in all of fiction and everything is the ability to change weight, change density. It's very
Pretty cool.
You could technically fly then as well, just make her density less than air.
Although
She made a rock float like feather.
You haven't seen her manipulate her own density, so it's hard to know with that
that's
one.
fair.
Well, there's always restrictions.
Stand on
and
a
things.
platform and manipulate that density to be lighter than air, and then the platform will hover.
This is giving me mage vibes.
Yeah, like I'm
Yeah,
thinking she could
yeah,
like
there's-
make like touch a person and make it so their mass felt like they were under like intense gravity. You know what I mean? Like fall on the ground, just be like, help!
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but she touched all three of you.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
when you were having the conversation, she she put her hand on Will's shoulder. She touched
She was
George's
all up on my face.
jaw, and Tori was the only one who was like, "Don't fucking touch me."
God damn it, Tori!
So yeah, technically speaking, Tori is like the most on point with the paranoia.
Yeah.
But...
I think it comes from Tori's
She just doesn't
suspicious
like people
nature.
touching her.
Oh
like,
yeah, for sure. But
like you put that much work into the masterpiece, you don't let people touch the artwork, okay? That's how it works.
and how dare you not lend your dress to Nicole? She'd have looked stunning in it.
That's my fucking dress.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tori's
She would've
missing.
looked-
Where's that fucking dress?
She would have looked stunning in it, and that's the problem,
Yeah,
right?
well,
Can't have competition.
Mm. So, as said, let's do outros and things, and let's start with George and also Katie today.
What up? We found out who the believer is also. That was the other thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
We had heard of the believer, and it was Ashford who said, beware the believer. Like it was a last thing as we left one of his meetings. I looked back. So if anyone was wondering, we did meet the believer, and we were warned of the believer,
He
but not
said
who they were.
Be careful of the believer, I think, not
Be
beware.
careful.
Yeah.
Did he? Okay.
It's
Don't
slightly
believe the
careful.
believers.
What the fuck? We're kids. To me, that's like believers, danger, and murder.
Yeah, danger and death.
Yeah, so darkness, whatever. So we found out that's Bertrand. So like on top of finding out that that Tori's not protected with the chains and shit, she's also like in debt to the thing we have to be careful of. I don't know. Anyways, what up? My name's Classic Katie. You can check me at twitch.tv/Classic Katie. I do a lot of arts and crafts and stuff, talking about butts. Today was fun. I have not as many notes as last week, but that's because I was in a lot of today, and it's really hard to take notes at the same time.
Yeah.
So now I get to go rewatch and rewrite notes, which will be fun. But today was, I feel like I actually hurt my real jaw a few times in my stupid face, like
Apologies.
moments. No, it's cool. It's great. I love it.
Drama.
I mean, the fact that you're on the fly, like ad-libbing a story somewhat, with notes, and you obviously have a general idea and stuff, but you have no idea where we're going to take it, and you can make my jaw drop. It's pretty fantastic. I'll never regret any of that. RP is the best. But it was fun today.
It was.
Elf, what's up, bitch?
I was just gonna say he did offer to help you open your jaw several times with Bella.
He did help me open my jaw. She ripped that shit right down.
Yeah.
Change the
Sometimes you
density.
just have to. Sometimes you just have to put a little more effort in. Okay, you gotta open a little wider. It's fine.
Sometimes you need a mentor to teach you the big stuff.
Yeah, you need
All
someone
right.
to teach.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
All right, hi,
Don't
I'm
make me
Distracted
do my
Elf. You
ad
can
read
find me
again.
at, you can find me at twitch.tv/DistractedElf or on Twitter at DistractedElf. At the moment, I'm playing a lot of an ancient MMO called Dungeons and Dragons Online, in hardcore season. So if you want to watch me die at like level 8 or 7 or 8 out of 30, like 6 or 7 times in a row, there you go. That's yeah.
You can tell she's having a great time.
It is really fun, actually.
Tell that to your first.
I'm
sorry. The Sass today was so much fun, I just have to say.
Syrinx.
Hot potato Zerix.
Hey, I'm
Yeah, I had fun
Syrinx.
with it.
You can find me as Syrinx on Twitter and Instagram as such. I had a lot of fun today. It was mostly fun to
Betray
watch.
everyone.
No,
What?
silly.
No, the
There's-
Chupacabra flashback was so badass.
Yeah,
I
that
almost
was
forgot
sick.
about that. That was dank. I'm so glad you guys did that.
It was very nice. I also discussed it with Sheepy, and I was like, that shit's gonna be traumatic as fuck. So yeah, it was very nice to play that out. I also just enjoyed watching the entire scene of you guys, and then just Elf every time saying everything I was thinking, like just like giving comments. I was like, yes, go for it, honey, go for it. So yeah, and I'll hot potato it to LCT.
Hi, I'm LCT. I'm a leather worker, and I stream leatherworking occasionally. I also stream games when no one's bought anything, or I have no projects. I encourage you all to check out the Patreon, because without it, we're not gonna show up. No, wait, we'll still show up, but Sheepy won't be here. He's actually the anchor that is like, no, I will not work without money. So
I'm
you
kept
should check
alive
out.
by Patreon pledges. If you
Yeah,
don't pledge, I die.
Facts. If you don't pledge, you just get 24 episodes of Tori's
check out
gaggle.
the website, and you should check out the YouTube, and you should check out my lovely co-conspirators on the show. And I think you can find me everywhere at Lima Zulu Tango. If there's no Lima Zulu Tango, I'm not on that platform.
Okay. Hello everyone. I'm Sheepdog. I run the Wandering Inn. And after we made that joke about the Patreon pledges, I had a horrible suspicion that possibly one of the next Patreon ad reads I have to do will be in the style of those like 90s, early 2000s charity adverts.
Oh, please.
And it will be like, give a man a character and he can roleplay for a day. You know, give him an entire backstory and he can roleplay for the rest of his life.
No. Give a man a character, he can roleplay it for a day. Teach a man how to make his own characters, and he can roleplay
for the rest of his life. Like do some kind of like ad read like that, but
That'd be clever as fuck, honestly.
But Princeton Chat is right. Deposit $25,000 into the Patreon.
Do it.
So, please.
1993, $25,000. Please.
Yeah. Please do go and check out the website. The website has all the information you'll need. It has all the shows you could, well, maybe not all the shows you could possibly want. It has all of the shows we've done, however. And it will have all of the shows that we do. It's also got all the links that you'll need and all the information. It's a great place to go check out if you're new, or if you're looking for a new show and you're not sure which one to watch next. It has all of them there. May I suggest, if you're enjoying this one, giving Mage Somnambulist a look. It's quite a fun one, and as things stand, I think Syrinx would agree I was meaner to her in Somnambulist so far than I
like
have
people
been
are
here.
saying like, oh, he's doing a Merlin 2.0. No, he's not. You silly people. You silly people.
You silly-
If Sheepy is one thing, it's not predictable. He's putting everything out there to make people believe that that's what's gonna happen. A Merlin 2.0. It's not. It's not.
Well, Merlin was a twisty, turny little boy, wasn't he?
Yeah,
But
it's not.
yes, with
Someone
that
sounds bitter.
with that said, Twitter. Well, yeah, that was a rough one to be honest. With that said, Twitter and Discord is where you can go if you want to get notified when we go live. I tweet, and I also put it up in the Discord. If you're interested in being properly notified, I have a tag on the Discord called Get Told, which I tag everyone with, so you'll get an actual full-on notification on Discord. So do go into the Discord, ask me for that tag if you want to be notified about the shows. Obviously, we have Alien. The show is going to be called the Duracrama Outlook. I will tease it once again at the end of the show. Boop. There it is. Wandering in production with Sheepdog, Gaming FTL, Van Vane, Elbel, KDB Displays, Safi Pie, Peachy Pixel8, Ezekiel 3, Domestic Dan, Bentham, and Zakonicus. And the final episode of that is being recorded tonight, actually. So if you want, please go and tweet at Josh good luck, because he is GMing this final episode. And that will be out in the summer. I will be more precise as the time gets closer as to when it's premiere. Someone help me.
Premiering.
He said, "Don't help him."
No, I said someone help me.
Said someone help
you said,
me.
"Don't help me." I was
I,
yawning at the same time.
I will let you know when that is premiering. And aside from that, the only other thing to say is Patreon. Go give it a look, give it a pledge. I'm going to be revamping it so it's a bit more clear about everything. Essentially, those of you who pledge even as little as like $3 a month, it all goes towards paying the cast, and as time goes on, we'll be able to do more and more shows. As I'll be able to pay more and more cast, I won't have to pay for the extra shows out of my own pocket. And if we reach I've got to have to set the goal, but if we reach a certain goal where we are fully funding 2 shows, I will write this has already been agreed. I'll write an erotic novel and voice it, narrate it as well, and put it up on my YouTube.
Do it now.
Guest voices? Character voices?
if you want
Do
to
it now.
If you want a guest voice, we could talk about that too.
I'm just saying, I would do it.
I mean, we have to reach 2 shows fully cast funded, but I will write a
that's the face, Katie. You got it.
I will write a proper blue book, or like
Hell yeah.
the type with where they have their shirt open and there's like wind and
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So
I
with
want
that,
it.
with that bomb dropped, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. We're going to the outro screen, and we will see you next week for more QT.